Another day, another headline. Pull up a chair, come on in. Different minds around the table. Let's see where the night begins. Questions welcome, ideas welcome. Everybody gets to say. Leave with better questions than the ones you brought today. Community, unity, learning, thinking. Welcome to the following, where good logic has a say. Think a little, laugh a little, grow a little today. Joe is not at all the leader of the following, not at all a cult type of cult. Hey! Type of cult. No Kool-Aid, no spaceships, no squirrel mutilations, no sacrificing goats. Tracksuits not mandatory, just highly recommended. Buy a hat, buy a mug, link in the description. No throwing virgins into volcanoes, no dancing around a bonfire while shucking off clothing in the middle of the forest to the beat of a tom-tom, beat of a tom-tom, beat of a tom. Not at all a cult type of cult. If the stream suddenly goes sideways, Joe boomered again. Community, unity, learning, thinking. Pull up a chair, stay a while. Welcome to the following, where good logic has a say. Think a little, laugh a little, grow a little today. Joe is not at all the leader of the following, not at all a cult type of cult. The following program starts now.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Neerman, aka Good Logic. This evening, our show is going to focus on more election shenanigans from Democrats. Yes, new and improved election shenanigans. Just when you think they've run out of ideas or ways to sort of make you feel really wonky about the sanctity of your vote, the new Democrats come along, they're like, hold my beer. It's amazing. It's amazing. Just, I don't know if there was cheating going on here. I don't know. It could be. It could be. Is related to Democrat primary, where the guy that the Democrats wanted to win ended up getting a shocking victory that no one was expecting. No one was expecting. And then you learn afterwards there was some really hokey stuff that was happening there, which may have played a role in there. Also, we heard about the SPLC getting charged. Now we have our first name. First, hopefully, and likely of several names. We got the first one. I'm going to tell you what that means, what she's charged with, and why this particular individual story. I don't want to assume her gender, only because when you see her, you're like, I don't want to assume that individual's gender. So, we're going to break down exactly what this is about. Also, Planned Parenthood is in danger of being, as the kids say today, felted. Now, a lot of you may not know what that means because you might not be from the kids saying it today. We old timers, we call that bankrupted, poor house, broke, no dinero. Where's I got nothing. Planned Parenthood has a very, very serious lawsuit, which Fifth Circuit today basically said, oh, we're charging forward here. We're charging forward. It could end up costing them nearly $2 billion with a B. That's right. I also have a little bit of an update on the Anthony Fauci corruption and all the terribleness from COVID vax. I'll get to that in a moment. We have a goal tonight. The goal is if we get 20 20 super chats at $10 more. We're going to go into hour 3, at which point we're going to be covering Tyler Robinson, the arguments that his team submitted in trying to fight against this case being bound over. We're going to see they don't really fight against being bound over. They really just look like they're trying to save him from the electric chair. What that actually means. And if we get into hour 3, because we earned that goal, I'm also throwing in a song that I created, which is on a scale of 1 to 10. It's like a solid, I would say solid 6. Solid 6. This is why it's not. Last week it was 300 because that was a funny song. And I knew you were going to laugh at it. This one's good. This one's good. But I wouldn't call it as good. I'm not into marketing. I'm into telling you the reality. It's a good song. I think you'll like it. I'm not promising you're going to like it. Last week I promised. This week I'm not promising. So yeah, but that's if we get hour 3, great. If we don't, okay. I'll get over it. You know, the world will survive. The world will move forward. But I do want to start off tonight by talking about kids born with birth defects. And that reminds me.
I swear, I knew it as soon as you said that. I was honestly sitting there going, wait a minute, he's about to start the show. Oh, come on, man. Okay.
That reminds me. How are you, Sin?
I was way better until just a split second ago, actually. Really good day. Fantastic day up until a moment ago. I don't know what happened, Joe.
I don't know why. Doesn't matter. I was like, oh no, you think because no, I was saying because I'm about to start the show, I should bring you.
Yeah,
in.
You should bring me. Yeah, what didn't have anything to do with that, huh? The other segue into the actual topic that you want to discuss. Yeah.
I look. You should appreciate a good transition better than anyone.
Thanks, Joe. Good luck. Best coach in the world.
You had a good week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I actually ventured into your world, not like into it, like from the 40 miles above, like
best way.
Peering down in there.
You never get in there,
and I was just like, I don't understand anything he's saying.
Craziness.
If I just looked at you as an individual, someone said, hey, you know what? I think that you should get Sin to come in there and co-host with you. Here's a body of his work.
Never do that.
I would be
never look at never pay attention to me.
Why would you
not the work I do?
I would have anything to talk to this dude about, like at all. Like he's speaking about Japanese gaming cartoon characters. I'm like, who would think in a million years that I could find like 3 minutes worth of content to have talking to you?
I'm a very well-rounded guy. I'm multifaceted. Okay. All right. I don't just stick to one thing. You know, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. How about that?
Yeah. No, I think that's saying it very well. Before we get into our show, let me plow through here. We got a strong start toward tonight's goal. They don't even realize that the other thing is that I have this thing that like when we hit $300, that's when you start getting paid.
Yeah, there we go. There
so
we go.
Folks who want to see poor little Sin over here get paid.
Look, guys, I'm a single father of a corgi. Somebody said a dog that a 20-year-old urban white woman should own. Look, if you want to keep him fed and happy, I would appreciate that. That would be great. It'd be fantastic.
So if you want, so then we just gotta clear 300, and then we can start seeing Sin get paid from that point forward. Last week he racked up a total.
Yeah, it was nice.
Racked up quite a total last week. Mm-hmm. But that's when he starts getting paid at that point. So if you're interested in seeing, Sin be able to pay his mortgage, that's another factor.
I do have a mortgage. That is very true.
That's another factor. Early with this as usual. Hey, Preston Jennings. But you two are still my favorite show, period. I'll catch up tomorrow morning at work. Oh, by the way, what did I get a Tom delivered from Sin in the? Why did I get a Tom delivered for Sin in the mail today?
There's
Why would you be
instructions.
sending people the TomTom?
So look, Preston. There's instructions on the bottom for what you've got to do. Okay.
Okay.
Other than that, don't bring it to Joe. All right. Don't bring it to Joe.
Sincerely, Sinister Sin Wednesday. Yes.
Hi, Tammy. Good to see you, hon. She's been joining in. She watches a lot of my show, and I appreciate it. She's, I think, catching on to the lore of all the crazy people that we discuss. Tomorrow's gonna be a fun show.
Couchy had her hung at 95%. I put another 50. Well, you must have made a killing on that. You must have made a killing. We're going to talk about Couchy soon. If you win an election, shenanigans will not be mentioned. This is true. They let you get away with the shenanigans. All they care, it's like win, there'll be no questions asked. Then you'll get in there, and then like 2 years from now, it'll be like, wow, that was really corrupt. That was really, really corrupt.
It's how it always works. Once you get in there, like, oh, there was an oopsie there for some reason.
Yeah, but oh well.
Yeah, we're not going to do anything about it. Hey, we'll fix that next time. Don't you worry about it.
Petty Eddie's starting us off.
Oh,
thank you so much, Petty Eddie. JH said, I just said to my wife, my two favorite comic book superheroes are on right now. Joe, the beacon of good, and his sidekick, Sin, the stop sign of debauchery. Wow, audio would be great. We don't have audio? What's the matter?
We got audio.
We got audio.
Yeah,
everything's going well.
Don't worry about it. Don't let him gaslight you, Joe. Okay.
All right. Okay, I'm on board. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Aaron always comes in early. Pittance money for sin. It's not pittance money. Every nickel counts. Yeah. Trust me.
Just got to get Joe to figure out how to use Venmo, and we're good. Don't you worry about it, Chad. We're all fine.
I have a Venmo account. There's just nothing in there. And I'm moving money over to Venue. Moving money over to Venue is like a whole different thing. That's like a whole thing.
Wait, what do you mean? Oh, you don't have everything connected to it. We'll figure it out, Joe. It's no big deal.
No, the only thing I have from Venmo is what people pay me. Like some people pay me through Venmo.
Yeah.
So every once in a while I'll clean it out or I'll spend it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but basically, actually, I'll clean it out. And I haven't really been pimping Venmo in a long time.
Venmo's great. That's how I'll do everything. The reason why I like Venmo though, like we had discussed like this whole situation, like PayPal and Venmo and all that, is Venmo it protects you from everything. PayPal doesn't as much, even though PayPal owns Venmo. Venmo protects you from absolutely everything. You can even do like payment protection and everything on it. So yeah, it's really good. I love it. It's fantastic. It's how I do everything.
All right, let's get started talking about.
Let's do this. You said
the birth defects. Birth defects.
Special children.
Birth defects.
Yeah, and then you brought me on, which was
and kids whose mothers got vaxxed in the first trimester, because that's what I was talking about yesterday. The impact of the vax.
Yeah, I didn't see the show, but I did see. I did a little research.
Peeked in for a second yesterday.
I peeked in, but I didn't get to watch the whole thing. But before that, I had paid attention to Fauci knew about this stuff, right? Is that one of the big no-nos and one of the big uh-ohs about all this stuff?
Yeah, no, that's a pretty serious thing. Like he's having discussions with the other doctors about how dangerous this stuff is, while coming out and telling us, "Go get your vax, pregnant woman."
Well, you'll get French fries.
No.
Don't forget, Joe, if the pregnant lady lost a baby, she gets a free set a free order of French fries at Shake Shack.
Yeah. This is Dr. Thorpe, Dr. James Thorpe. I don't know who he is, but apparently he's some OBGYN from the wellness company.
Yeah.
Then I saw a significant increase in fetal malformations of virtually every organ system.
He might be a pediatric doctor, so I'm not sure he's
I feel like I know him before, but maybe that may be. I feel like I might be getting him mixed up with like an Olympian.
I'm assuming he's a doctor purely from his language and the
jacket
and the white lab coat.
Yeah,
I haven't checked his degree.
Yeah,
and I made the same mistake about Fauci at one point. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was about to say I've seen. Well, you know what? Never seen Fauci in office with degrees behind him.
Oh, that's a good call. All right, there you go. Little medical books over here. It's got like a little library of stuff going on.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. All right.
Okay.
They look like expensive books. You can tell from the binding over
Yeah,
here.
the leather binding right there.
Yeah,
That's not a glue job right there.
No,
you know what I mean?
That's legit.
Yeah,
that's legit. Yeah.
There literally were cystic hygromas, cardiac malformations, diaphragmatic hernias. Diaphragmatic hernias are very rare malformation, and I won't mention which hospital, but there was a hospital that's well known to me and to you that at one point in time, the neonatal intensive care unit had 8 infants with congenital diaphragmatic hernia. Now you can run the numbers on that on your Bayesian statistics, but it's 1 in several trillion, 10 trillion. I saw severe.
So it's not possible that it wasn't that they were impacted. That's the point. Like, it's not possible that you would have 8 kids with something that's an extremely rare condition all being born at the same time, unless there was some sort of common abnormal factor weighing in, i.e. getting vaxxed.
I wonder what the vax would have to do with the diaphragm, though.
No, they're saying it's in the development of the fetus. This is
diaphragmatic hernia is what he was saying. There was so diaphragmatic hernia is a hernia in your actual diaphragm that will cause your intestines to poke out. It's very dangerous in infants. So I wonder. I'm just curious, like what? I wanted to be a doctor at one time.
What the hell do you know from diaphragmatic hernias?
I wanted to be a doctor one time. Yeah.
You?
Yeah, me, this guy. Yeah.
Like of science.
Yeah.
Not like doctor of love or something.
No. Actual, an actual medical doctor. That's what
medical doctor.
Yeah, I either wanted to be a pediatric doctor or a physical therapist was my two. Yeah.
Wow. So and in pursuit of that, you came across the term diaphragmatic hernias.
Yes.
That's a lot closer to becoming a doctor than I ever became.
Medicine's very interesting. Like, this is a very interesting thing. Like, I'm curious what the actual vaccine, why it would make a hernia in the diaphragm of the baby like that, right? Like, what is... My head goes, all right, well, why is it doing that in children and not in adults, in the fetus? Like, what is it inhibiting? What is it messing with?
It's obviously doing something to the development of the fetus. I mean, there's a lot happening.
Yeah,
it's the first trimester. No, it's the first trimester. To me, it's not strange that if there's some sort of, abnormal chemical that's in the mother's bloodstream, that would affect the development of a fetus that's first forming its basic organs. That's what's happening. I mean, in the first trimester, that's when it's basically the organs are first literally being created. Like
the diaphragm's not closing, is basically, for just layman's, is all it is. And I'm curious, like, what the vaccine is doing to affect that. Why that's that one thing. That's just, don't worry about it. We'll move forward. We'll just go through. We'll just
abnormalities that I've documented and published: severe growth restriction, blood clots in mother in the fetus, seizures in seizure-like activity in the fetus in mothers as well. There were multiple thrombotic events, both in the fetus and in mother. Premature labor and delivery, premature death in the babies that were born, increased risk of death. Substantial increase in babies that went instead of going to the well baby nursery, went to the neonatal intensive care nursery. And that's just a few.
It's alarming.
So, whatever we were covering yesterday we were just talking about abortions, miscarriages that women were having as a result of getting vaxxed during the first trimester. But now we're hearing that, even the ones who came out had all sorts of issues. Now, it could be that the ones who had that, maybe Maybe that came later. So the diaphragm formed. Maybe it was a woman who got vaxxed in the 6th month. You know what I'm saying? The 7th month, where the diaphragm's already there, and it's basically creating a hernia in the diaphragm.
Yeah, it definitely could. Yeah, it definitely could. Yeah, but it does make sense because a lot of people did get what was that? Myocarditis or whatever it is.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't the one.
Pericarditis.
Yeah, that's it. You nailed it.
I should have been a doctor. All right. So glad I didn't become a doctor.
Oh, it's interesting. Medicine and science is very, very interesting. How the body works. It's crazy.
Yeah. Wednesday is the best. Thank you, Crazy Kimmy. That's so kind of you. I don't know what's scarier, Dr. Sin or Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Sin, don't you worry about it. Fauci's got nothing on me.
All vaccines typically contain small amounts of heavy metals that are not enough of a dose to be dangerous to adults. I don't see why it's controversial. Pregnant women should not be taking them.
I agreed with that. Yeah.
I think that's common sense. All right. So brace yourself.
Okay. Braced.
For our next story.
All right. Oh God, what is wow. Did she wait, is that a surviving baby of the vaccine? All right. Well, hit play, I guess.
I need to introduce you to Heidi Berrick.
Could you not? I watched the Shrek movie last week. I don't need to see it again.
She looks like the guy from the Goonies, right?
Hey, you guys.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So, okay, here we go. So this is Heidi Berrick.
All right.
Heidi has had a difficult week.
Yeah.
But we need to know who Heidi is first.
Yeah, I would like
to know.
Let's
hear a little bit of her talking.
Their views. I think white supremacy is, one of the worst things mankind has come up with. Well, I can have a direct impact on these movements. And in the first year I was there, we did some very good work, myself and my colleagues, exposing anti-immigrant networks in the United States, some of which are still functioning today. Their views. I think white supremacy is, one of the worst things mankind has come up with. Well, I can have a direct impact on these movements. And in the first year.
So she thinks white supremacy is like one of the worst things mankind has ever come up with.
Yeah, I loved her work in the Disney movie, The Hunchback of the Notre Dame. That was fantastic. Ma'am, I think, okay, look, let me be honest here. I think slavery of all sorts probably trumps me thinking I'm a pretty my race is pretty cool. I think maybe slavery trumps that just a little bit. And you go, well, white guys committed slavery. And I go, well, okay. Well, where'd we get it from? Huh? Anybody want to discuss that one? No? Okay. So, all right. Wow. I think she's a silly goose, personally.
Well, you need to learn more about Heidi.
Oh, there's more to learn about Quasimodo. Okay.
There's more. There's more. Here's more Heidi.
The number of hate groups has been increasing pretty rapidly and frighteningly. Really,
you're building one right now, looking at your face.
So in the 1990s, the number of hate groups sort of bounced around 450, a little up, a little down every year. And then in 2000, we started to see a sustained rise, which ultimately led to a doubling of groups. And what's interesting about this is that the year 2000 is the year that the Census Bureau told Americans that white people would become a minority in the future in 2042. Yeah. And a lot of hate groups all of a sudden started to, begin to recruit. White supremacists commit far more acts of domestic terrorism.
Like before that, they never recruited.
Before that, the KKK was just a puff of smoke.
They were like, stay away. No one's allowed. But after that, they were like, oh, we're going to be a minority. That's when they started to recruit.
Before that, the KKK never had a whole lot of revitalization around like the 40s and the 50s. And well, what was that silly thing that happened? Something happened in the 60s. Oh, yeah, LBJ.
Yes.
That's right. That guy.
In the United States than radical Islamists, for example. These groups have seen their numbers increase, particularly since Donald Trump started campaigning. There are other organizations that call themselves the...
It's all about Donald Trump campaigning. Why? Why would that be?
Well, Donald Trump told me that it was cool to be a white guy. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah. He told me that he sent all white people an email. And
let me tell you, it's cool to be a white guy.
And that's all it said in the email. It was like, hey, just letting you know, simulated cynic. It's cool to be white. And that was it. It was just a little voice note. And yeah. So we all decided to start putting red shoelaces in our boots and shaving our heads and wearing white tablecloths. Ma'am, I want to see you ringing a bell.
The Diamond Dollar Store KKK outfit is the tablecloths.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, my mom wouldn't let me tear up some sheets, so I had to get an old tablecloth. What? Didn't you know all of us white supremacist guys live with our moms too because we just hate the world and we do nothing?
Because where else would you? Who else would have you?
Exactly. We're so disgusting. I'm serious, ma'am. If I don't see you ringing a bell in the next video, I'm going to be pissed. All right.
Outright that literally didn't exist 2 years ago. And a lot of the ferment and activity, the protests, the rallies and whatnot are circulated around the alt-right groups right now. In particular, groups that attach themselves directly to Donald Trump's campaign have seen their ranks grow. So we've got a hate problem larger than we've ever had.
So she's complaining. In case you can't tell who she is, she works for the SPLC.
She's the one that was giving me money, right?
She's a former CFO from the SPLC. Here she is. We got one more clip of her over here.
I bet she talks to gargoyles. I'm just saying.
It's like some people should never be zoomed in this close.
No, man, back up. She looks like an old 80s rock star.
Like a dude. You're saying like one of the dudes, right?
Yeah, like one of those old 80s front men that just let himself go and lost his voice.
It could be like seriously, like she could be like White Snake.
Somebody said blobfish. That's right.
She looks like one of those hairband folks.
That's it.
Guys.
Yeah, 100%.
It's true. It's true. That's a good call.
I was watching a video of one of this group's gatherings. They had, it appeared to be maybe a couple of hundred young men, and they talked about, we're not about hate, we're about loving our own people. What's going on in this country, especially with young men, that this is an appealing concept?
Well, there has been a huge growth in groups like you're describing, filled with young white men who are involved in things like MMA activities, weightlifting, etc. These are called active clubs.
Wait, hold up.
3.5 years ago. Now there's,
ma'am, my Planet Fitness hasn't recruited me to the white supremacy club. Now, is there something I'm doing wrong? Is there a secret handshake I'm missing? But I'm still having to work out with the blacks. So weightlifting, MMA activity is racist.
That's very scary. It's very
Not
scary.
Being fat is racist. Ma'am, is that why you're so fat? It's to show your solidarity with the coloreds. First rule of White Club: you don't talk about White Club.
The Snickers say that she's an ally.
Yeah, you're right.
The boxes of Snickers say she's an ally.
Yeah. All the empty fry cartons in her passenger seat said she's an ally.
Trust me, I'm not fit at all.
I don't ever go to a gym. The only time I sweat is when I get up out of my chair.
I'm allergic to gyms.
Dozens and dozens. There's also a youth
I'm not sure, by the way, that this person wasn't born with a Y chromosome from the voice.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I don't think so.
Club, which is a version of this for kids who are under 18, and they're now in every single state. There's no question that there has been some appeal to young white men in terms of white supremacy. And we have more white supremacists and more white supremacist groups like this than we've ever had in the United States. And I would argue that's somewhat, to some extent, the result of the sanctioning of racism coming out of the White House and the Republican Party towards immigrants and others.
Sure.
It's a climate that is extremely polarized. It's these are the kinds of young men who deride, the woke folks, feminists, etc. And they're growing. They're finding a home there. And it's very, very concerning.
So if you deride woke folks and feminists, that obviously means you're a racist. Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Let me ask you an interesting thought experiment. What is wrong with having what they would consider white supremacy? And I mean pride in your actual race. Not that you want to, because they said it there, right? Not that they say they don't want to harm other races, but they want to be proud of their race, right? Like, I am proud to be a Southern white man, right? With the heritage from the UK and Germany, and even like the what's supposedly the Native American heritage I have. I am proud of that, and I'm proud to see white people succeed, right?
Are you more proud of that, or are you more proud of America?
I would say America, of course, but it's also the regional thing where if I was traveling and I ran into somebody from another country, they would say, "Where are you from?" I would say Alabama first. You know what I mean? Right? Okay. So I'm more proud of, not that I'm not proud of being from the United States, but I'm proud of being an Alabamian. You know what I mean? But I don't see what's wrong with that, where I want my race to succeed without hindering and harming other races. What would be a problem in that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's a very, very healthy mindset, actually.
Yeah.
I have the same thing with being Jewish. Like when people people yell, like some people will like yell at me, and like I've had this, like people will be like, Jew, and I look at them, I'm like, damn Skippy,
you're damn right. Yeah, I always get called a mayo monkey. It's not as you don't get, you're Jewish, you don't get called a bleach demon or a mayo monkey, Joe. You're damn right.
I never heard mayo monkey either.
Then I scream the N-word at that white lady that calls me a mayo monkey, and it's very confusing looks all around. I'm always confused by that. I had one of my co-hosts is a black guy, and we've had this conversation about white supremacy and black supremacy and all that. And I'm like, dude, if you're a black supremacist, as long as you're not trying to go out of your way to harm other people, and you're proud of what you have, and you want to uplift,
what
I mean? Like, yeah, you want to uplift the black community, and you want it to be a black thing. I think that is fine.
It's 1,000% fine.
Yeah,
it's natural. That's why it's fine. It's natural. There's a difference between being racist and being tribal.
Okay.
It's natural and normal and healthy to be tribal. It's actually part of our basic instinct that God imprints upon us to be tribal. That a newborn baby, they say, can only see like 3 feet, like the distance basically. So from like the nursing breast to her mother to its mother's face.
Yeah.
So like this becomes the fixation of like, and where it learns warmth and caring and where comfort is going to come from. So during its very first imprinting of what is healthy, good, positive, safe, secure.
Yeah.
It's someone who looks like you. Which is why from literally from like the day we start, or the day we come out of the womb and we start, and you're being nursed by your mother, it's being imprinted upon you what is something that's healthy to be around you. And this works with all species, not just humans. This works with, animals. Tigers become comfortable with the face of a tiger.
Yeah.
They from the time it comes out of the womb. And, as opposed to gophers that become comfortable with gophers. And that's the way it is. So we become comfortable with humans, and specifically humans who look like us. So it's natural to be tribal. And that's why you end up having and when you end up developing a shared culture, which, Italians have their own culture, Jews have their own culture, Muslims have their own culture, blacks have their own culture, Irish have their own culture. Everyone's got their own culture. That's like a natural and normal thing. So this is what you form during the first few years of your life, a positive association with. So of course, when you get older, you're more comfortable with that, and other people who you look at and assume share your culture and values. So naturally, if you see a stranger who looks like you are more likely to say, if they look like me, I'm probably going to be comfortable around them rather than someone who doesn't look like me.
Gotcha.
That's a healthy thing, which works with other species and it works with humans. So, and this is part of the stupid Robin DiAngelos of the world and white fragility and all their stupid crap where they try pretending that tribalism is racism. Racism is what you were just describing, where it's like you're stepping on other races rather than saying, look, my first thing that I'm going to be comfortable with is people who look like me, but that doesn't mean that if you don't look like me, I'm going to assume negative things about you or treat you badly. So part of breeding is that you treat all humans well, unless they show you some flaw within them, which is a reason to not treat them well. That's a healthy perspective, but naturally you're going to first feel most comfortable with someone who looks like you, and that's the way it's always been and always will be on an instinctive level, and that's totally healthy. You shouldn't be embarrassed about that. So for you to feel pride when people who look like you have success, that's an outgrowth of that.
So what do I do with a corgi who was basically raised with Rottweilers? What do I do with that? He thinks he's a Rottweiler, Joe.
Does he?
Not even kidding. Okay, I'm in trouble here, Joe. This is a cry for help. All right. No, I agree with you. I've always had that question. They always say that it's wrong, and I'm like, man, I do that with my family. Like the way I work is my circle is who I want to succeed, and then that umbrella extends to friends. You know what I mean? And then those friends, my neighborhood, that sort of thing. But it always starts right in my own household, right? I want all these people that are pulling a load with me in this life to be successful and happy, and then spread out from there where I can. So yeah, I've never understood why they have to look at that like it's a bad thing. But if a black guy did it, they'd be like, oh yeah, black power, do it. No problem. Yeah. Like, wait, why?
Yeah. Why is that okay when they do it? Or when Massachusetts is creating a bill to have a Muslim commission so we can relate to the Muslim community. I mean,
when the Jews do what they do, right?
Doing the Jewy things they do.
Doing the Jewy things they do.
I was so proud when I came up with that line.
Yeah.
So that was Heidi, and she has a strategy for how to fight against these evil, vile racists, which she lays out very succinctly. The best way, you know how you deal with evil, vile racists?
No,
you know what's the best way?
How?
Is basically leave them no money.
By taking their money away, they can't function anymore.
And they can't function anymore.
Yes, every single one of them has been successful. Obviously, when these groups don't have money, that means there's less violence that they can perpetrate. The whole idea is to not allow them to function.
So that's the strategy, is basically let's drain them of their money. That's her whole strategy, which is what makes this really, really like a little bit of a strange thing.
Yeah.
What makes this story about her that broke today a strange thing, because what she was actually doing was unseal the indictment of former SPLC CFO Heidi Beirich.
Oh.
She dated and lived with a neo-Nazi.
I'm gonna breed the racism out of them. That's what I'm gonna do.
Used donor funds people donated to SPLC laundered through a fake company to enrich them both, her and the neo-Nazi.
Oh,
in a joint account they shared. And she created fake companies to launder donor money to hate groups and structured transactions to avoid oversight. So she was kicking money out. This is a woman who said the best way to fight hate groups is to make them go broke. And the reason they're not going broke is because she's kicking out, they say, roughly $1 million that she's structuring how to get money to these hate groups.
Wow. That is, that's very impressive. Ma'am, you did so much for the people that you're fighting against. Good job.
Yeah. So as we have this report here from Laura Ingram.
Biden's old line becomes even more farcical.
I ran for president in 2020 because of what I saw in Charlottesville in August of 2017. Extremists coming out of the woods, carrying torches, their veins bulging,
bleach demons,
their necks, carrying Nazi swastikas.
And this is something that was funded by the SPLC. That entire thing was funded. That entire the Unite the Right Charlottesville riot was funded by the SPLC, monies that they gave to the Grand Wizard of the KKK.
Good job. Way to go.
Oh my, yeah, he was president. And no group made more money off Charlottesville than the Southern Poverty Law Center. In a federal indictment handed down in the spring, we learned that one of the SPLC's own informants helped plan the rally, which the SPLC then used to raise millions and, of course, smear conservatives. Now, remember, for years, the media treated the SPLC as the gold standard for exposing hate. What would we do without them? And it trashed everyone from traditional Catholics to Charlie Kirk to yours truly. And today, a new indictment of this woman, Heidi Beirich, the SPLC's former CFO and a self-appointed expert on right-wing extremism. She's now charged in a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme.
Oh.
Heidi loved destroying people's lives.
If I do this reporting work and I expose these people who are so heinous and against everything I believe in, right? Their views, I think white supremacy is, one of the worst things.
It's like her eyes or something. I don't even know what the hell is happening here. Like this eye is like a cow eye. This eye is like this eye, and it's looking over to this side. This one's looking straight ahead, and it's like half closed.
It's a lot. There's a lot going on there, Joe. Okay, it's like a Jackson Pollock painting of a potato. All right.
I think the best offense she has is there's no way this woman had a live-in boyfriend. That's she's gosh.
Her dating a white guy is very surprising to me. It's astonishing because of her stance.
How do you feel about interracial dating?
How do I feel about it? Oh God, my service is so bad, Joe. I'm going through a tunnel right now. I can't. Oh no, Chad, I can't hear anything Joe's saying.
I actually have no problem with interracial dating. But just not for Jews. But
say no, you can't say that. That will be clipped to hell and back, Joe. I did.
I'm always honest with you. I'm always gonna be honest with you. But like I don't right.
If I was to have how do I say this right? Oh, here's a good one. Cody, my corgi. If I was to
we keep bringing up the corgi. I don't know.
I'm just saying, I'm using it as an analogy. If I was going to have grandpups, right? I would want them to be purebred. All right. There's just less problems.
So wait a minute, are you really saying that like if you had a kid, you wouldn't want them dating like someone outside their race?
Knee-jerk reaction? No.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. She probably smokes cools, somebody says in the chat. Yeah, knee-jerk reaction, immediate thought off the top of my head. Yeah, probably not.
I think this is a great poll question.
Why? Why are you always polling like bad questions that get asked to me, Joe?
No, I think this is a great poll question because I think this is going to come out like a little bit more aligned with what you're saying than folks might think. Do you think it's okay for let's say it's cool. Do you think it's cool for a member of your race to date another race?
Show's going off the rails, chat.
Yes.
But y'all don't really believe in interracial marriage as a concept in the Jewish religion. Period.
No, we think we're supposed to do everything we can to stop Jews from intermarrying.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. There's all sorts of like tactics to employ.
Really?
Well, it's a big deal. It's a big deal because basically they look at it as if like you're cutting yourself off. It's a really serious deal.
I mean, I sort of agree. Also, I don't want to be one of those sad grandpas in like a McDonald's with a kid that's like caramel colored, and I'm sitting there looking at it in disdain. So.
Now, I will tell you, I wouldn't have a problem. Like Jews from like different things, like
different sects or different
sects.
Yeah,
like Hasidic Jews or let's say Middle Eastern Jews or stuff like that. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I'd be like fine.
What about those Jews in the middle of Africa?
Yeah, I mean if they're Jewish, yeah.
Okay.
One thing I heard about when I was like 20 or so, and I was seeing like this little thing is that they would like take out a Torah, like the scroll itself, bring them into a synagogue, take out a Torah, and tell the guy to spit on the Torah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a powerful thing.
Yeah, I really, like I said, knee-jerk reaction, but I don't know. I would have to meet the person. I really would. Go from there. Top of my head, though, rip off the Band-Aid answer. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Let's see the rest.
But I would prefer my kid to not marry somebody who lives in a meth trailer. I would prefer that. I would rather not have that over anything, Oh,
okay. So you're saying your kid choice between white meth dealer boyfriend or black boyfriend, you go with black boyfriend.
Most likely, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. I wanted to just sort of pull up a couple of these chats here.
Yeah.
Which have been sitting out here for a while. They've been accumulating. I sent you a DM after yesterday's show from Sam92A on the math around miscarriages.
All of sins, Alabama pride just went out the window.
Sent me a DM. Oh, I see it here. He's giving me like a whole long thing about the math. I see it here. I'll try to look through it after the show. In fact, I'll even accept, so this way I'll remember to see it later. So, yeah, it's a whole long thing. Joe Hatov. Hatov is Hebrew for the good. Did you know if you have your Bluetooth on, your Bluetooth headphones near the phone, you can't hear the show unless you're wearing them? Okay, I'm an idiot. See, they're saying audio. He's saying audio.
Wow, Jay. Wow, Jay.
He totally boomered. He totally boomered it. That's what happened.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. White supremacy is pretty bad. Feeding people to lions for entertainment was pretty bad too. There was a lot of worse things than white supremacy. It's true. The worst thing she ever heard. I love Wednesday nights.
Well, thank you,
Yeah,
June Mom.
That's
Appreciate
very
it.
That's very kind of you. I was actually thinking of inviting Sin to join me twice a week. I really was. The problem was this.
Yeah.
This is, and I'm not even kidding about this. I was like, I would probably do like Tuesday and Thursday kind of thing. It's like what I would invite you to do. But then I'm like, no one's going to find you the people who are looking for you on Wednesday, they're not going to find you if I take you out of Wednesdays and bring
Wednesdays.
you over to Tuesday and
Wednesday's
Thursdays.
a good day. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. And we'll discuss it. We'll see how things go. Well, we'll discuss it and see how it works.
She's just upset because the Klan won't let her.
Yeah, we have a weight limit. I mean, they have a weight limit.
Thank you.
They check.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Saved it. Nailed it.
Slavery under white people several hundred years versus slavery under brown people several thousand years and counting.
I was about to say and counting. 100%. There's more slavery today. I was actually watching a thing on this a couple days ago. There's more slavery today than there ever was at the height of the Roman Empire, first of all, and 50% of it is sex slavery.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I thought about making a joke, and then I was like, no, let me pull it back.
Yeah, I was about to say, be careful.
I was like, let me pull that one back.
There you go.
The filter worked very well that time.
There you go. You got it.
Can land the 747 on that forehead. You think? Maybe.
Yo, for sure. You could back a whole fleet of 18-wheelers up on that thing.
I think her hair is running away from her face. Thank you for the loot box, Penvoct. Thank you so much, Penvoct. Shalom, my favorite Jew. Hey, Melkor. We're getting active. White nationalism is on the rise. All right.
Sure.
There you go. All right.
Woo woo.
As long as you're not doing the torchings and beheadings, I'm cool with that. Sure. as long as we're done with the stonings, I'm okay with that. A whole putting everyone a sword through the belly type of thing.
We're gonna, all you guys are gonna be doing accounting and stuff like that. You're all gonna be doing the things that we're not allowed to do that you guys are allowed to do for the gay.
Like money lending.
Yeah. The money lending and all that sort of stuff.
No owning property.
No owning property though. You can't be doing that.
But in a ghetto.
We'll lease you the land, quote unquote. You get what I mean?
I hear you. J.A. saying, Joe, I live in the Central Valley of California, a very rural agricultural area. A lot of white farmers around me in Portuguese. But I've never seen a white supremacy group, but put my local junior college has a La Raza organization, which means the race. And my city has a local Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I think we're not doing real good in promoting this white stuff.
As a member of the white race, I don't fully accept Portuguese, so
no. Yeah.
They're on a waiting list.
They're like definitely closer than the Jews, though.
Yeah. I would say so.
Who are you kidding? I know where we rank.
I know where we are.
I know where we rank. There's a totem pole. You got your whites.
Yeah.
You're Irish. You're Italians.
There you go. You're getting it right. Actually, you're nailing it. You're Asians. Then you're Hispanics. And then the bottom sort of rotates.
And then blacks and Jews. I guess the Portuguese are somewhere around right above the Hispanics.
Right in there. I align them with Hispanics maybe a notch or two above. You know what I mean? They're right there. They're there, but they're adjacent.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's a lateral shift.
And it's interesting that I happen to choose the term totem pole because Indians are way near the bottom.
They're complete. We don't even count them. They're not.
They're way near the bottom.
Sir, I would.
Who are lower on the totem pole, Indians or Indians?
Oof. Indians. They definitely dots, or they're non-existent as people, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So you think Chief Whooping Cough is better than Nikandar Shukaknak?
What? Yeah, 10,000%.
Sing.
Yeah. Sing Mok Ping or whatever their name is, who's serving food barehanded into newspaper clippings to a guy in Bangladesh right now. I'm surprised it doesn't have a shot collar on running around in somebody's yard.
Someone's selling shoes for $7.
Exactly. Yeah.
Those folks are down below the Native American Indian.
Chain them all to 7-Eleven counters. All right.
All right. It's like I said. I know how this whole thing works. I know where we rank on this. Stay hydrated. Thank you so much. Been a while. Hey, not a cult. Needed some time away from politics. Anything important happened? Good to hear Sin and Joe again.
Oh
no, I don't think anything's happened in a hot minute. I mean, other than right now. I mean, I just do a show for 2 to 3 hours every day talking about what's going on. So let me just trim that down to you in a 45-second answer as to what's been going on for the last month and a half since you've been gone. Let me just condense that sucker right on in there for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
A few things,
give me the TLDR.
A few things have happened. The TLDR. The TLDR is that Tyler
the world's on fire.
Yeah, the world's kind of on fire. I guess for today, there's election shenanigans, and SPLC woman is arrested, and Planned Parenthood is looking like they might get belted. So, there you go. I think that's the. But it's good to see you back, brother. Okay, I screwed up again. JH is struggling tonight. My area is very strong with the FFA, Future Farmers of America. They're made up mostly white 13 to 14-year-old girls who show sheep or pig at the fair.
Wow. Okay.
The Biden DOJ registers them as bad youth. Really? Really?
Yeah, I get that.
Oh, that's craziness.
I agree. I agree with the Biden DOJ.
Love Sin on 2 nights with you. Always guaranteed to laugh and have a good time. So
maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll work it out.
We'll see. Feather, not dot.
Yeah, I prefer feather over dot. I mean, technically, I'm like 1/8 Native American is what I've been told. But
is that what it is? Oh, I see what's going. I see what's going on, Liz Warren.
Yeah. Well, no, I've never look. I'm not one of those guys that's like, yeah, woo, we're like I touted.
I'm a Navajo.
No, we're not. No, I'm not doing that. But supposedly, my great-great-grandmother on both sides. That's just what I've been told. I've seen pictures, but I didn't get to meet them. Who knows?
Rapaho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arapaho.
You're Arapaho.
The whole Trail of Tears thing. A lot of stuff was lost. Who knows?
I got you. You Chumash Indian.
There's what tribe is it near my other house? The Porch Indians or whatever they are. When I was talking to them, they're like, dude, you should really go register and like get tested and get on the rolls. I'm like, I don't want to be disappointed. I'd rather just live with the myth. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like my great-grandmother and my grandmother lied to me all these years. I feel like it would ruin it. So who knows?
How would you be? See, here's the thing. Because if it's your great-grandmother, you got to figure that these folks were born.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to point something out to you.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So you're roughly what age?
Mid-late 30s.
How old is your dad? Or mom, whichever side this is.
Close to 70.
Close to 70.
Yeah.
So this means that your mom was born in 1950 something.
Yeah, yeah.
So her grandparents were born like in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
Now you tell me how in the late 1800s some white folk is having a kid with a Native American.
Well, Joe, when a man really loves a woman,
that doesn't involve a story. That doesn't, because I mean, back then racism was flourishing pretty nicely. That's literally Jim Crow.
Right,
that's like, that's Jim Crow era here.
On my mother's side, I've seen like pictures of like of the lady.
I'm simply saying, I think that there might be some of the some of the violent interactions.
No, they were married. I've seen the wedding. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've got a photo.
You got a photo of your...
I mean, like a squall with a blonde head guy. Yeah.
Really?
When I saw the picture, actually, I'd seen the picture my whole life, but never paid attention to it. So I got the murder cabin, and a lot of things they were like, hey, if you want them, you can have them. I was like, yeah, leave a whole bunch of stuff. And I never paid attention to it. And when you look at it, I was like, that's a chubby little Native American woman with this tall blonde dude. Like, what in the world? What's going on there? And my family was like, yeah, that's our great grandmother. Yeah.
Wow. So I guess
that's what I've told. But like I said, I don't want to go like get on the they call it like the rolls or whatever, and then you can get like all kinds of benefits, mortgage rates and junk. I was like, I'd rather keep the story than be disappointed.
Well, we're flying a little far afield over here. So let's get back to Heidi. Because she needs our attention.
Me.
Oh God, why do I have to see her again?
She publicly bragged about fighting the bad guys.
We've now had a series of clan groups that we've sued, put them basically out of business, leading all the way up to very recently with the Imperial Clans of America. Our hope is that by taking their money away, they can't function anymore.
Oh, taking the money away, boss lady. But in private, she was allegedly helping the white supremacist cash flow. The DOJ says that Byrick was overseeing payments to an informant linked to a neo-Nazi group while sleeping with the neo-Nazi. Sharing a home, multiple bank accounts, keep it all in the family. Now, prosecutors also allege that Byrick then used donors' money to pay the couple's personal living expenses. I don't even think this can get better, this story. Here with Insight is Eric Eggers, Vice President of the Government Accountability Institute. Eric, I mean, this is the kind of thing, like, if you had a film about this, you would think this is nuts. This never could happen. But this was almost like a Hollywood production, right? This should be a movie unto itself. Total frauds. What do we know? What should we know?
Well, what we should know, Laura, is if we found out today that the American Cancer Society was actually secretly invested in cigarette companies, and then
I wouldn't put it past them.
The country and making money off of it, while the director of the American Cancer Society was having an affair with the Marlboro Man. That's essentially the equivalent of what this story on white supremacy groups. She's telling the truth.
That's a great
she
line.
Funded the groups while having an affair with one of the leaders of them. It's a massive scandal, and that they should be exposed and embarrassed at every level.
A lawyer for Byrick told Fox that she's innocent and this case is without merit. We believe the charges against her and the SPLC are politically motivated. Dr. Byrick said has been targeted in this case because of the important work she's done to combat hate groups and extremists. Well,
important work.
This argument
it's been great work,
with them, though. It's not working at all. They have.
I want to share something that you might not all have considered, which makes this arrest particularly significant, because I told you this is the first person arrested. Why do I say the first person, not like, this is it? Because how would they know? How would the DOJ know who's funneling the money? Who's
I need to know that.
Who's setting things up? The only way they would know that, the most likely way they would know that, is if they have a source inside the SPLC, someone who's ratting out what happens.
Yeah.
Which means now you have someone who's going to be testifying. Which now means now you have someone who's able to basically turn not just Heidi, but perhaps 2, 3, a dozen people in the SPLC who were involved in this crap. And be able to point to she did this, he did that, and basically be able to rain down a storm. Probably someone who's looking at potentially going to jail, who they had to flip and offer them immunity in exchange for them helping them prosecute other people. Yeah, that's you sort of have to lie down with dogs in order to get these people sometimes. So it's probably someone who, if we saw their resume, we would be revolted and disgusted. But the reality is, it means that someone has, the chances are very high, in my estimation, that someone has flipped. And that's a positive as far as being able to actually get convictions against these people. That you're going to have someone who's going to get up there on the stand and say, I saw Heidi creating these things or authorizing these payments. And, and here's the bank accounts which show the money flowing in there, but basically the chances seem like it's a really good chance that, because it's not easy to track the money like this. I know that they have forensic accountants at DOJ, but I think that the chances are very high that they actually have a source. And that source, and if my assumption is correct, I think that bodes well for actually getting convictions here.
So you think there's a whistleblower then?
Yeah. Yeah, essentially.
All right.
But a whistleblower implies someone who's acting purely in an altruistic type of fashion. It's more likely
this is somebody that's like, hey, whoa,
more likely a rat.
BYA.
It's more likely a rat.
Okay. All right.
So rather than a whistleblower.
Abby Lowell, I think, representing the SPLC. I believe he was one of their lawyers, and they're making a good case. So he's a power lawyer. Abby Lowell is a fabulous lawyer, and he argued, Eric, that this was politically, essentially vindictive, prosecution. But the federal judge, Emily Marks, was not impressed, saying that the party's briefing is much like our modern political discourse, heavy on heated rhetoric, better suited for cable news or a podcast. It emphasizes noise over substance. Eric, this judge was not pleased with these briefs, and I actually read them, and I'm surprised Abby Lowell actually signed his name to them, frankly.
Wow.
Well, I think what they need to recognize is the real toll this entire fabrication took, not just on the people who gave money thinking they're actually fighting hate groups, but on American society in general. Think about this. This is August of 2017.
And by the way, there's one other side point here, which is this opens up for there to be a class action suit against Southern Poverty Law Center for people who donated money. And basically were duped by these jackasses. And
they weren't duped, they were straight ripped off then.
Yeah, it was fraud.
Yeah, it was absolute fraud.
If you get convicted on a criminal level for fraud, getting the, which is a much higher yardstick to reach in order to get a conviction there, it should be a cakewalk.
Yeah.
If you can actually get those convictions to turn that around into a civil suit. So we should expect that likely will have an impact on whether or not she's talking about drying up the KKK's money. Well, the worst form of the KKK, which is the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a really good chance that they're going to basically get tanked by multitude of lawsuits. So we might see the end of this organization. And if so, thank God. Thank God for that.
I agree. It is a stain upon the United States.
A stain? What do you mean?
A stain, yeah. It's disgusting the stuff that it's done. The SPLC, yeah,
right.
It's a stain. STAIN.
President Trump was only president.
Don't make fun of my accent.
It was just a weird choice of words.
No, I like it.
You want to stick with that?
I'm going to go with it. Yeah, I'm sticking there.
This country started to be torn apart because of the lie this group profited from, suggesting that Trump supporters were racist. How many people lost relationships with loved ones and friends over political differences, backed in part by the fact that these people are racist? This was a total lie. And so this is the lie that began lies about pandemics and elections and laptops and everything else, right? So they got away with this in 2017, but even worse, they made money off of it. The Southern Poverty Law Center has nearly $800 million in net assets, or it did back in 2024 before being exposed as the fraud that they were. This was big business while destroying the country. They should face lots of different allegations and charges.
Amen. Amen.
Yep. And its headquarters is in my state, by the way, which is another reason why I absolutely hate it. So I just can't stand it. Get out of here. Go. Shoo!
Zelen says, Joe, you're right. We should treat everyone well, but specifically those who look like us. Unless they're midgets, then F them. You people are creepy.
They are creepy. Little sausage fingers. It's terrible. Like, how do you hold anything? What are you doing with those tiny hands? Can you fix that? Sir, can you fix this issue? You're worried about leg extensions. I need you to go get finger extensions.
They have them.
Yeah.
They call them fake fingernails.
Yeah, go get those.
In the 1800s, they didn't have guys living in their mom's basement. They had guys buying a wife for 2 rugs and some beads, maybe a jug of whiskey.
That's it. Yeah, and that's you know what? That's overpaying right there.
definitely a jug of whiskey was thrown in. That's for sure. When Sin is on, I like that I don't have to send a super chat telling you to breathe, Joe, when you're in the middle of a rant. Lighthearted fun streams with Sin. Well, there you go. Goal. Did we actually hit the goal? Is that true?
I don't know. I've been keeping up with the numbers tonight.
I think that's premature.
I mean, look,
I think
Liam Gray's YouTube rep usually is pretty on top of it, man. Okay, all right.
Why is this thing? Why is this
YouTube rep usually is pretty on top of it, man. Okay, all right.
I don't know why my YouTube
rep usually is pretty on top of it. I'm gonna need you to stop playing that in repeat, please.
I don't know why my
pretty on top. I need you to stop playing that in repeat, please.
It wasn't loading for me.
Pretty on top. I need you to stop playing that in repeat, please.
It wasn't loading for me. God.
Thank you. I thought I was having a stroke for a second. All right.
I wouldn't put it past you. That was me boomerang. I see us at 17 with 1 Rumble rant, so we're close.
Yeah, we're at 17.
Well, I see us at 17 with 1 Rumble rant. Where's do you think it's so? I have this. Do you think it's cool for Member Your Race to date another race? So far, we have 182 votes. And I'm waiting for. I want to see if we can cross the 200 threshold before I shut that down. But I'm a little surprised by the response.
Yeah, the percentage is like 60-something%, I think.
What are you gonna ruin it for? What are you gonna?
Said I think.
You
know what?
Not a cult says Sin. They said she was dating a white supremacist, not necessarily a white guy. She could have been dating Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle is okay. First of all, Dave Chappelle is definitely not a white supremacist. Now, if you're talking about the character Clayton Bigsby, maybe
white power.
Yeah, woogity boogity.
Breathing all the white man's air.
Wide nose having, breathing all the white man's air. He divorced his wife. Well, because she was a lover.
So what?
N-word lover is what they say. You're not gonna trick me into that again. What are you talking about?
Will the ADL defend white people being defamed by the SPLC? Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck.
Zellian is saying you've got lost rants back there on your Rumble.
Do I really? Is that what happened?
There's like 3 of them, I believe. Oh yeah, definitely.
Let me check that. I don't know how I missed that. Why don't I see that?
Yeah, 2 from Azelian and 1 from Vrooman.
Do I really missed chats?
Yeah, he sent me screenshots actually.
He sent me screenshots.
He sent me screenshots of the Rumble rants.
You want to share them?
I mean, I can read them to you because they're on my Discord DMs. So let's see here.
You can't share your screen there, so I can actually look at what you're seeing.
On my screen. I have them on my phone on Discord.
Golly, man!
Give me a second. I got to do everything. This guy runs the show, leads a cult, and can't do anything. Open link.
Why I don't see that? It's so weird.
Open link. All right, let me go over here and share.
I don't understand that.
There we go.
Joe, that nose make me wonder, is she one of yours? There's no way.
she might be.
No freaking way.
And then there you go. 2 more.
Roman says, I'm in for the 3rd hour.
And they're right there.
like a homeless guy begging with a dog, feed the corgi, who's on says, Joe, did you see it was the Jews who did Hunter's laptop? I didn't see that. That's funny. And that must have been Tucker. Hey, Midget King, I told him you demanded him to come to you.
He got in touch with me. We got all the information that was necessary. So thank you so much.
I did. He did tell me, and he was the one who told me to tell you out.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And I guess what we should say is, as Liam Grayson would say, go.
Good job, chat. Way to go.
Well done,
Joe actually did some good work for me on some information about a document that's going to be extraditing me.
Joe, I love the laugh, Sin, but I'd be so cool if you have a chat with God Sod about tribalism.
Yeah, Gad Sad is I had an argument with him like 4 years ago on Twitter. It was very funny. I'd have to see if I can find that. Yeah. I forget what the conversation was.
This is like this. When people say stuff like this to me, and I know they mean well, I sort of feel like, yeah, I'd love to get Trump on here also, but it's for one reason or another, he's not returning my calls.
You might be able to get Gad Sad.
You think I could?
Maybe. Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to find the guy.
He slums it every once in a while.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to get Gad Sad on here. I've seen him on with Vivo. Maybe I could.
Yeah,
maybe I could.
He's a weird one though.
Is he?
Yeah, he feels. I don't quite know where he stands on almost anything. So,
nah, I'd love to get Gad on here. You kidding me? You kidding me? Love to do it. This is our Attorney General, and he has been confirmed as our Attorney General. So we now confirm Attorney General Todd Blanche weighing in on Heidi Beirich.
A case against the former chief financial officer of the Southern Poverty Law Center. Can you please speak a little bit about what you've learned as part of that investigation and if we should expect more charges?
So yes, today, my understanding is today there was an arrest made and there is a new indictment that includes the former CFO of SPLC. I don't have any comments about whether we've said from the beginning, everybody, not just me, but anybody who's talked about this case, like virtually every criminal case, the fact that an indictment is returned doesn't end the investigation. It's just part of the investigation in most cases, which is certainly true in this case. I think as alleged in the indictment, this individual participated in the scheme as alleged. I believe she was part of the effort to open bank accounts and complete fictitious companies' names and make payments that to individuals for reasons that were not that were not accurate as described. But I don't have. I think the indictment was unsealed this morning. I believe it was unsealed this morning. I think the arrest was this morning. I don't have anything to say beyond that, except to say that this is exactly what we said would happen in a case like this, which is that our investigators and the U.S. attorneys and the agents working the case can keep on working it even after the initial indictment.
So there you go. And that implies there could be more to come, and hopefully there are. I don't just want to see Heidi. I don't think that she was acting alone.
Oh, of course not. There's no way she was. You're not going to do something along those lines and nobody know about it. At least have somebody who knows about it and wants to hide, like what you're doing for benefit. So,
right. And just to put a little bow on this story here, CNN reporting from Hannah Rabinowitz, mine, Holmes Library, and yours. Exclusive former employee at Southern Poverty Law Center arrested on fraud charges. A former employee in the Southern Poverty Law Center has been arrested in California on charges that she oversaw secret payments to informants inside of white supremacist groups, one of whom she was allegedly living with and had a romantic relationship with at the time. The woman, Heidi Beirich, previously ran the SPLC's Project Tracking Hate Groups in the U.S. Justice Department has alleged that the program, which is no longer running, defrauded donors who did not realize that they were helping to pay individuals inside the same groups that the SPLC aimed to root out. Beirich allegedly oversaw payments of donors' money to people inside these hate groups, according to an indictment unsealed Wednesday. She also allegedly shared a bank account with one of those sources, which includes funds from the SPLC's payments. Quote, I believe she was part of the effort to open bank accounts. This was what we just heard from Todd Blanche. And Barrick has been charged as part of the superseding indictment with wire fraud conspiracy to submit false statements to a federally insured bank, and conspiracy to conceal money laundering. A lawyer for Barrick denied wrongdoing on her part. The SPLC has fought the case, arguing that the government is mischaracterizing a long-standing informant program designed to gather intelligence on hate groups, and accused the Justice Department of charging them for political reasons. Attorneys for the SPLC have also said that law enforcement officials have used information gathered by the organization's informants in the past. So they're saying, we've been helping them. The charges are part of the Justice Department's case against the SPLC over the alleged payments, which prosecutors say were done through shell companies. In earlier court documents, the department gave details on 9 unnamed informants, it says, received payments through the program, which began in the 1980s. Despite her role in overseeing the payments, some of which were directed to an imperial wizard in the KKK. Even the phrase imperial wizard, to me, I think it's one of the funniest titles ever created. Just the title imperial wizard.
It's so ridiculous. The Grand Cyclops.
It sounds like something that Chevy Chase from Community would be like, looking to become the imperial wizard. It does, like, what the hell is that even?
Oh man,
Pierce, that was his name. It sounds like something like Pierce from Community would be all over, that they want to be an imperial wizard. Barrick allegedly had a romantic relationship with one source who infiltrated a white supremacy group and stole documents for the SPLC, according to the indictment. That person, so this was like someone, I guess they're trying to say it was someone who was working undercover. That's probably what they're going to claim. That it wasn't really a white supremacist. He was working undercover as a white supremacist.
Yeah, I just kept hanging out with him afterwards. They had a really good like gun range. You know, they had a great daycare or something. I don't know, like what? Come on, man.
That person, prosecutors say, was paid over $1 million by the SPLC since 2007. $140,000, which was put into a bank account that Barrick and the person shared. Barrick allegedly used that money to pay for their personal living expenses. The documents that person allegedly stole were used as part of an article that the SPLC later published. Barrick then allegedly paid a second informant $6,000 to take the fall for the stolen documents. He got ripped off. She's innocent. In this case, without merit, her attorney, Michael J. Proctor, said in a statement, we believe the charges against her and the SPLC are politically motivated and wah, wah, wah. Dr. Barrick won't be silenced or intimidated by the government's false and politicized allegations now, Proctor continues. She welcomes the opportunity to present the truth in court. Well, I welcome the day that she actually takes the stand. Let's see that. The SPLC told CNN the indictment has not changed their commitment to their cause. Taking on violent hate and extremist groups is among the most dangerous work there is, and we believe it's also amongst the most important work we do. Like funding the freaking Klan rally.
Yeah.
Idiots.
Well, I mean, it was necessary in order to keep the funding coming in. What are you talking about, Joe? If you abolish racism, well, there's no need for the SPLC to be around.
Yeah.
You got to keep the racism numbers up, Joe.
Yeah, and they clearly were dying out. I mean, this is why people like this is why you never heard of anything like any of these racist things like that car driver had to invent, or Jussie Smollett and all these things, because it's so rare that unless they create their own, there's nothing to cook with. And I've talked about this many times on the show. You know, when you have a successful movement, a movement has an agenda to get from here to there. That's why it's a movement. We are here in this status here where Black people can't vote, women can't vote, whatever it is. And we want to move to a place where they can vote. That's a clear direction that when we hit our goal, you'll know we hit our goal because that was our goal. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a movement. Whenever they cannot define what they're looking for, that's no longer a movement, that's a mob. And at the head of the mob is some people who basically managed to find themselves at the top of the wheel there, and they're grifters. And so like that's what we saw at BLM. When they're not looking, BLM wasn't looking for like, you know, they're looking for equality or justice. Well, that's no two people have the same definition of that. So you never reach that goal. And that's when you know that you're dealing with a grift. And it's not a movement, because it's just some people want to go that way, some people want to go the other way, and some people think back up here is completely different things. So when you had BLM going on, some people were saying they want segregation all over again, or they want to have justice reform, or they want to get rid of cops, or it's more social workers, or they want more money throwing in, or they want reparations. They had all sorts of different fanciful ideas as to what they wanted, and nobody knew what it was really standing for. And that's when you know it's not a movement, it's just chaos with grifters at the top who ultimately, in that particular case, for example, just enriched themselves and didn't help any Black people, not the most prominent victims or their families, like George Floyd's family or anyone like that. They just basically were like, let's buy ourselves, we got all this money, let's buy mansions. like that's all they did with the money. So that's not a movement. And the problem is that when you have a successful movement, and you actually gain the equality you've been seeking, and you see how well it went, it's very hard to just shut down, because you're just like, well, what are we going to do tomorrow? We were so good at this. Let's find something new. So you end up move the goalposts. And sometimes you run out of goalposts when you actually reach equality.
Yeah, but if you move the goalposts, you also revitalize your donor branch, right? Like your donor base. Yeah, they go, oh God, this is something new. Anytime you give some new red meat to someone, it brings in more. And so there you go. Yeah, it's beneficial for them to do that.
I've been away for a few weeks. Shame on me. Are you doing fantasy football this year? I am. Would you want to join our fantasy football league?
Maybe. I might do that. Yeah.
It's only $100.
Yeah, I might do that.
It's $100, and I think I probably have a spot or two this year. I'm going to be putting a post up in locals, so about this soon. So that will, but yeah, it's that's coming. I'm going to be posting about that, and I was supposed to post about it today. I'm going to hopefully post about it tomorrow, though.
Yeah.
So I have to dig up the old post, which has the rules. That's why it's always different.
Got you. Yeah, you were explaining it to me, your rules.
Have you done fantasy football before?
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Yeah, we had conversations last year about this. Dude.
You're not going to be embarrassing yourself, are you?
Maybe.
I don't want you to embarrass yourself.
I'm not worried about embarrassing. Okay, listen to you. Listen to you right now. What is this, a sales pitch or what is this? I'm
a little concerned for you.
Yeah. You don't think that I enjoy football? Okay. All right.
You strike me as someone I'm not really sure.
Well, I don't know if I want to play fantasy football with a Jewish guy. That's the problem.
Now it comes out.
There we go.
Yeah. I knew if I kept digging. If I kept digging.
Yeah, I might join a fantasy football league with you. I think it might be fun. Oh, oh man.
All right, time for our next topic here.
What do we got?
Which relates to election shenanigans from the DNC.
Oh.
Now, before I get into the most recent shenanigans, which happened this week, today there was a conversation on CNN which related to a very, very old shenanigan that most of us had never heard before. I never heard this before.
Yeah.
This was on CNN. This is now the people talking here. Somebody named Pete Seat is telling this story over. And he's talking to David Axelrod, who's a longtime head guy in the DNC, and crying Adam Kinzinger, who I don't know why anyone still listens to this doofus. But check out this story that Pete Seat says that David Axelrod seems like he never heard before.
In Arizona, he hired the ninjas. What were they called?
Yeah. The cyber ninjas.
The cyber ninjas.
I'll give you an example of where it has been determinative, and that's in my.
We're talking about where election shenanigans have been determinative of, changed what happened.
Yeah.
Some state of Indiana, St. Joseph County. The gentleman you previously worked for, David Axelrod, Barack Obama, got on the ballot because Democrats in that county submitted fraudulent ballot petition signatures. People, including the Democrat county chair, went to jail over that. Barack Obama should not have been on the primary ballot in the state of Indiana.
But that's not a voting. That's not a voting issue. Like that's something.
Well, it is a voting issue because he was on the ballot and people could vote for him. And he shouldn't have been.
Issue though. That's not a. They're stealing.
This doofus can't find a Democrat that he won't support and defend. The Republican Adam Kinzinger. He's such a cuck.
Illegals are voting. That's an Indiana issue because Indiana is the one that determines who's on their ballots.
How did that get determined?
How did that get determined? It was finally exposed 2 years later. It went through the courts, and several people found themselves in jail. Finally. But that's the problem. It didn't happen. They didn't find it before he was on the ballot.
But you're right back, Joe.
So he wasn't supposed to be on the ballot in Indiana. They committed fraud to get him on the ballot in Indiana because, fraud is just so random. That's what Democrats do. That's just what they do. They're like, oh, we need to get him on there. So they basically faked signatures of enough people to get him on the ballot. It's astonishing. So that story came out in the last day or two. But that's not really what I want to start with. I really want to talk to you about what happened in Wisconsin this week, because this is pretty funny. This is pretty funny. I should start with this, and I'm going to call back to our good friend Richard Parker here, who said Calci had hung at 95%. 95%. So, yeah. Let me just pull this up here. There's one thing I wanted to have that I didn't pull up here.
Why'd you mess that up? Huh? What are you doing, Joe? You're a professional. You do this like 5 nights a week.
I am a professional, but I realized that I wasn't going to bring up Calci, but since he did bring up Calci.
He did.
I thought that this was funny. Brian Krasenstein had sent this. You know who Brian is, right?
Yes, I do know the Krasenstein guys.
You look up to Brian Krasenstein?
No, not at all. You know what?
That was a hype joke.
I know. I picked up what you were putting down. I'll fist fight Brian Krasenstein in a Toys R Us. All right, don't you?
Brian Krasenstein is not a big guy.
No, they are elfish.
Yeah.
There's nothing masculine about it. When I found out those guys were married, it blew my mind. I sat there and had like an existential crisis for about 24 hours.
So Francesca Hunk, you never heard of her, right?
No, I've never heard of that.
She's a loony socialist. Like
Makes
her
sense.
Her timeline is filled with things like abolish Thanksgiving.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Just like insanely crazy leftist.
Yeah, F those Indians, right?
Earlier this week, Polymarket, I don't have Calci, but Polymarket had her odds of winning. You know what her odds of winning the primary for the Democratic gubernatorial nomination were? Pick a number.
Wait, the odds?
Yeah.
10-1.
No, that's just about right. I mean, give a percentage.
What do you mean give a percentage?
Just
You're going to ask
number.
me to pick odds, and now you're going to give me 10%.
Percent chance of her winning.
Chance.
Oh, you think a 10% chance of her winning the nomination?
Yeah.
No, not at all. She was actually 97% chance to win with 1 day to go.
Wait, what?
Democrat socialist Francesca Hong soars in the odds to win Wisconsin's Democratic primary for governor. 97% chance with 1 day to go. That's what this socialist was. Socialists were kicking ass in primaries over establishment folks. Krasenstein shared this out by saying, holy crap, looks like Hong is going to walk away with Democratic primary win in Wisconsin. Perhaps Americans really are fed up with the status quo.
God.
Yeah. Well, that's not how things worked out.
Actually, he said it more like, "Holy crap! Looks like Hong is gonna walk away with this." Jesus Christ.
Yeah. She ended up losing by 3,000 votes.
Oof.
To everyone's shock.
Yeah.
It shocked the world that she ended up losing by 3,000 votes. No one could figure it out. But then we have a scenario as far as something funky happened in Milwaukee. Now, this is infighting between Democrats, because you have to understand, establishment Democrats don't want Hong to win. They feel like she can't win. And they don't like these socialists, so they don't want her to win.
Yeah.
So she was running against a guy named Crowley, not Stephen, it's some black guy named Crowley.
I was about to say, wait, hold on.
Obviously, a descendant of one of the slaves that Crowley's ancestors.
The Crowley's 7 Years of Crowley. That's a good movie, guys. Have you ever seen that one?
I think it's 12 Years of Crowley, right?
Yeah, so, maybe. Well, the sequel is a 7 years. All right. All right.
That was funny. Well done. Oh yeah. So, and then somehow, one way or another, yeah, she ended up losing.
Yeah, by everyone's surprise, obviously.
Yeah. David Crowley upsets Francesca Hong in close primary for Wisconsin governor. Crowley beat Hong after running neck and neck in Wisconsin, with South Carolina Republicans are going to Senate primary runoff. Representative John Lawson, Connecticut. Okay, fine. So this is their update here. And Crowley was saying that they felt optimistic.
Yeah.
And sure enough, yeah, they ended up eking it out by 3,000. Now, but there was some sort of shenanigans that were happening during the course of the ballot counting. And you sort of got to wonder what the hell was happening here. Wisconsin progressives are screaming fraud.
No.
The next day, they're like, we were defrauded by the establishment Democrats in this primary.
I don't believe you.
Well, we found a topic on which DSA and MAGA largely agree. The Democratic primary for governor in Wisconsin was probably rigged to ensure that Francesca Hong lost the election in a late-night vote dump from Milwaukee.
Oh, God. Say it ain't so. The Democrats are shenanigansing themselves now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you guys. You silly gooses.
We can so relate, because we saw how the establishment Republicans would fight against all the MAGA candidates.
Yeah,
so I can totally understand their outrage and frustration over this. Like, I was mad that Win Red would give money in primaries to help the establishment neocon conservative beat a MAGA guy. It was filling me with rage. If they were stealing an election, I would be, oh my God. But stealing elections is something that Democrats are really exceptional at.
Yeah, they perfected it so far, and now that's my thing about you. Watched them do it to Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders had such a groundswell of like young voters, and young voters to middle-aged voters were excited for Bernie, and they just stole it out from under him, and everybody saw it. You think they're not going to do it to you?
In certain ways, what they did to Bernie was worse, because they didn't even bother cheating. They used their own rules in a way to basically say F you voters. Because what they did was back then they had different rules for how the DNC would choose the presidential candidate. And they had these super PAC votes, which basically said all the other votes that happened by like the tens of millions of people get swamped and buried under the super PAC votes. And all the super PAC votes basically went for Hillary. So F you.
Yeah, forget you, Bernie.
It's nice y'all came and voted. We see that, definitely a significant margin in favor of Bernie Sanders, but no, we won Hillary. So yeah, thank God it went that way. Now, here's what you want to know: what shenanigans they pulled.
Yeah, I would love to know.
Yeah, once it was clear that the margin of victory for David Crowley was going to be minuscule and vulnerable, a Milwaukee election official discovered that 5 USB sticks that were supposed to have results were found to be empty.
Come on,
these
man.
results are not good enough. There's nothing on here requiring the data to be recovered. Crowley wound up winning by a much more comfortable margin. Like he was going to win by 20 votes, maybe. We don't know. And next thing you know, he won by a relatively comfortable 3,000 votes.
Weird.
Eric Dougherty reporting, wow, socialists are furious after human error in Milwaukee, Wisconsin after midnight caused 5 USB sticks to not have the election results on them. So officials went back, fixed the data.
Oh, look at there.
Uploaded it, and socialist Francesca Hong narrowly lost by a few thousand votes to David. Here's this clip on it.
And the results. What we uncovered was that 5 of the sticks had
5 out of 9 USB sticks. Now, these USB sticks were basically supposed to be tabulations of absentee ballots coming out of Milwaukee. So there were tens of thousands of votes that were recorded on these sticks.
Yeah.
And 4 of them were okay, and 5 of them, they're like, oh, we don't know what happened to these USB sticks. We're going to have to re-upload everything and try to figure it out.
It was an oopsie. It's just a simple oopsie. Joe, it was a simple, a very simple mistake. It didn't involve an election or anything real super serial. What are you worried about, Joe?
the audit log downloaded and not the results. It's a huge.
Apparently that when they were downloading stuff, you could download either the audit log or the result log. And that for one reason on 5 of these sticks, they downloaded the result log. How that happened, I can't even imagine. The audit log, not the result log.
Human error. These things can happen. So basically what we need to do is go back to the operations center and we're going to download out of those 5 machines the results and make sure that's not the audit log. So we have the reports printed from the first download. We're going to reprint and start the process so that we can compare those results. We invite you to come join us. Milwaukee Police Department will come with us too. And so we'll re-download those results and then send them back here to be uploaded.
5 machines are at issue?
Correct. Not the machines, the stick. So the download process was the audit log was downloaded, not the results. 9.
Silly. It's just a bunch of silliness, you know?
Those 5 sticks.
Correct.
But we can't know all of the results and we can't see.
I mean, you can see here, I mean, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of votes, and what's separating them is only 3,000 votes. You know, it's a statewide vote. So it was a very close race. Well, anyway, socialists are furious after human error in Milwaukee, Wisconsin after midnight caused 5 USB sticks to not have the election results on them. So officials went back, fixed the data, uploaded it, and socialist Francesca Hong narrowly lost. She was highly likely to lose in November if she won the primary. A 2 a.m. ballot drop addressed that.
What drop?
2 a.m. ballot drop.
Oh, I thought you said ballot. I was about to say.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I didn't know what ballot was. That's what I was about to ask you, Joe. That's all. It's okay. Go ahead. 2 a.m. ballot drop. Sorry, Joe.
2 a.m. ballot drop addressed that. 5 of the sticks are not the results. It's human error. Cries of fraud by Democrats are muted so far. But it's clear that progressives believe that the election was at least rigged, if not outright stolen. Rigging and stealing are distinct in that one is putting a thumb on the scale prior to the election, using tricks and tactics to advantage one candidate over the other, such as sketchy vote harvesting, and stealing is actively changing vote totals in order to ensure that a candidate wins. The first certainly happened, and in many cases is perfectly legal. The second is clearly illegal. It's obviously difficult to prove the latter, since the people who did the cheating are the ones who also certify it didn't happen. This is Steve Kornacki, who was following the election all night long, learning about the ballot sticks and him being like just apoplectic.
Oof.
I guess the exact thing, yes, is if 5 of the USB sticks were missing results from the election, so then they have to go try to re-grab them.
What in the world?
Yeah, they're all the folks behind the scenes are talking about this as well. So
no way.
So, look, it's unfortunate.
The folks behind the scenes here, you're saying?
Yes.
Are how do I ask this artfully?
What the F?
That is astonishing. That is like, how do you do this to this guy? No,
he's like, I defend that Democrats are all kosher. Everything's good here. Nothing to see.
Yeah, everything's fine, guys. Don't worry about it. It's there's no shenanigans going on. Did not pay attention to any of this.
Once again, we have information that irregularities occurred in the voting process, which should cause an investigation immediately. The reporters know something is wrong, but don't want to say it. Expect some Hong supporters to assert the latter happened in that late vote dump, and for every Hong supporter to be very angry, the former most certainly did happen, meaning that there was rigging, if not cheating.
Yeah, there's some riggers around there that
tons of riggers. Hard R. The entire Democrat Party establishment pulled out all the stops to ensure Hong lost and succeeded despite her being on and off the ballot at various stages in the election. Francesca Hong was an open socialist who would have lost the Republican candidate in the general election. She lost by 4,000 ballots. Here's the kicker. In the middle of the night, they announced 5 USB missing candidates.
The video for you, just hang on a second. In Wisconsin, you had this Hong lady, the card-carrying socialist who was running for governor. Polling was showing that she would easily lose to Republicans in the general election. And she's winning the election, the primary, the Democrat primary. And there is another 2 a.m. ballot drop in Milwaukee area. There are 5 USB things that they announce here and say that there was something wrong with it. The election results were not on there.
So
come on.
The best is Hassan Piker. As you would guess, Hassan Piker is very much in the second camp and absolutely furious, striking out at the voters in the establishment and vowing to up the intensity of the civil war in the Democrat Party. Democrats have been rigging elections against progressives and socialists for over a decade, and socialists are sick and tired of it. The establishment is justifiably breathing a sigh of relief, although they should still worry about a fall off in turnout from disaffected DSA leaning voters. Here is Hassan Piker. This was funny.
Damn. Here's an article about the inside the mind of a late deciding Crowley voter. A number of late deciding Democratic primary voters who spoke to NBC News in Madison on Tuesday.
Before we go further, I actually pulled this up before. Inside the man, this is what he's reading. Inside the mind of a late deciding Crowley voter, a number of late deciding Democratic primary voters. He doesn't read all the way through it. That's why I'm going to, so you can know what he's reading and why he gets so mad. A number of late deciding Democrat primary voters who spoke to NBC News in Madison on Tuesday ended up voting for Crowley. One of them, Allie Plummer, said of Hong, "I really back a lot of what she's saying. The DSA label doesn't shy me away at all, you know. In fact, I probably would lean more toward that." But Plummer said she was concerned that Wisconsin as a whole might not want to back a Democrat socialist. Quote, "I voted for Crowley because I'm a risk-averse person, and I really was reading a lot about like who has the chances to beat Tom Tiffany in the larger election," Plummer said, adding, "We have to beat Tom Tiffany, so I voted for David Crowley." That's what set him off and got him furious. Let's check him out now.
Tuesday ended up voting for Crowley. One of them, Allie Plummer, said of Hong, "I really back a lot of what she's saying. The DSA label doesn't shy me away. You know, in fact, I probably would lean more towards that." Okay, I don't want to read this because I will fucking kill myself with a gun in a video. I'm in a good mood overall. I want to put boomers in the contraption. And not just boomers, like anyone that says that. I can't do it. That nothing triggers me to no end like a guy who's like, "I really like Francesca Hong's policies, but I'm also a stupid guy who shits in his diapers. And I will be soiling
Clever, Hassan.
because I'm so fucking dumb. It's like pundit brain. I can't do it.
You have to, though, Hassan. You should do it.
Voters. I don't like shitting on voters. It's always our fault. It's always the campaign's fault. It's always our fault. We didn't fucking try hard enough. Okay? We didn't try hard enough. That's what happened. We should have tried harder. But goddamn, dude. Pundit brain is cancer. It is the most cancerous, most toxic fucking, most idiotic attitude.
So
literally, oh God, I'm about to start talking about what we deserve. I swear to God. You know the story about teaching a monkey the brain of the median American voter? Yes, I know. I do know the story. The monkey.
I do know the story.
Hanged himself. I'm the monkey.
Well,
I've been staring too much at the median American voter for the last couple of months. I need a fucking break, dude.
He's so bitter.
Yeah, he doesn't realize, man, people don't want your shit. It's not the median American voter. You don't want to sit there and admit that it was fully stolen, all this stuff, because he knows that the party that he's aligned with has been doing that. And then he has to admit, well, that might have happened to Trump when it came to Biden, but he wants to sit there and blame the vote blue no matter who guy, and that doesn't want the radical left. And that's what he's sitting there looking at. Oh, it's boomer brain. It's all that. Let me explain something, right? The people that are that vote like that nowadays are very few and far between. They really are. There's a lot of them still that are establishment on either side that been, party politics, vote red, until you're dead, vote blue, no matter who, that kind of stuff. But my generation, I think your generation, I'm a policy guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you don't have the policies I want, guess what? You don't get my vote. You don't get my vote because you have an R beside your name. Period.
Yeah.
I'm not a registered Republican. I am a conservative, though. I think everything that Trump pretty much stands for, I'm on board with, which is why I support him and I support all that. But you know what? If somebody with another letter beside their name was offering what I wanted for this country, they'd get my vote.
Yeah.
Simple as.
To be fair to the Democrats, which is something I'm not inclined to do in most cases, there's a little doubt in my mind that the rush to Crowley was at least mostly organic, driven by the opposition research dump that most certainly came from the organized crime Democrats. They were right to believe that Republicans were salivating at the prospect of running against Hong, who is one of the most beatable candidates in human history. It would have taken a miracle, even in this stacked environment where Trump is losing support quickly, for her to win. She is personally unpleasant and is unconvincing in her sudden, non-insane turnaround in positions. Neera Tandon says this guy was Hong's biggest surrogate. As I've said, campaigning with Piker is a death trap, possibly in primary, but certainly in the general election.
He's not in touch with anybody of normal base. He's just not. He's in touch with gamer-brained lefty kids who aren't even old enough to vote. Hassan, they're not old enough to vote. That's why you're not getting anybody to win.
And by the time they are old enough to vote, they start questioning whether they believe anything you said.
By the time they get to vote, they're old enough to vote. They've had a job at McDonald's and they looked at their check and they went, who the hell is FICA? And why am I giving her all this money? That's exactly what they're doing. And then they go, wait a minute. Why am I spending 32 to 35% of this check that I just got from Taco Bell? I worked my ass off all week long and I get $75?
Yeah. Yep.
That's exactly what happens, Hassan. They look at you, they see your background and they go, oh, I can do that. And then they realize they can't. They've still got to go out and actually work and pay taxes.
Right.
So,
well, that's why they're hoping if they offer tons of free stuff, people will sign on board with that.
They offer it. They never do it.
No, when they do it, they end up raising taxes through the roof. So,
they raise taxes through the roof, and then they give it to specifically minority groups to begin with.
Right. Right.
A lock. +7 national electorate for the Democrats. These other candidates are a lock. +7 national electorate For the Democrats, it's going to be easy, right? For everybody else except for Francesco. Okay. What about Michigan? Abdullah Sayed was winning against Mike Rogers by higher margins than Haley Stevens. Did that stop the fucking national media from saying Haley Stevens was the more electable candidate? Did anyone make a big fuss about how not a single poll showed that reality? No, it didn't, because these guys are fucking lying to you. Okay? Wake up.
He's so angry. He's so good at this guy.
Cope more, Hassan. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Put more shot collars on your dog, loser.
As I predicted, the narrowness in Abdullah El Sayed's victory in Michigan has slowed the momentum of DSA-aligned candidates in primaries because they no longer appear inevitable. Supporters of OCDs were motivated to double down their efforts to stop the DSA because the task appeared quite possible, motivating them to turn out. It was unclear that OCDs, organized crime Democrats, meaning the establishment ones, would be so motivated if they assumed the election was in the bag for the DSA this year. Still, that effort only works on high-profile elections. Congressional races for most voters are also ran elections where most voters barely know who's running. That's crazy, I know, since it really matters, but after decades of watching elections, I'm resigned to the fact that people pay less attention to congressional elections than they should. Pollsters, once again, have a lot of egg on their faces for obvious reasons. The magnitude of their misses in Michigan and Wisconsin is explainable to sophisticates, but not to the general public. And in any case, explaining why they got it so wrong doesn't justify the fact that they did. They are professionals, and their predictions can shape outcomes at the margins. They look as stupid as public health officials, which is saying something. So that was, who wrote this? It's pretty well done there. I like this article. David Strom. That's not the one I found. A different guy from Hot Air. No, I once had one of the editors of Hot Air on my show.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually joined me for a reading of the testimony of Michael Cohen in the Trump election. He did a good job. We had fun with that. So, all right, moving along. Third story I want to cover for you tonight, as we're hitting the 2-hour cutoff. And I missed this. Let me run through some chats. What? How can arrests be happening? I was told by above average persons that Trump was doing nothing and Blanche was a disaster. This must all be fake news. It is crazy, right? It is crazy, but thank God. There you go. Your great grandmother may have misunderstood when they said F white supremacists.
You know, I'm lucky that she had bad hearing that day.
Nanicole says the admin password for every Dominion machine is DVS Corp 08 ! And logging is disabled. Be the change you want to see in the world. He's funny. He's funny. Go ahead. Go ahead. KB, thank you so much for the support. God bless you. Good to see you as always. Legendary race in Papua New Guinea.
Wow.
You missed the most interesting part. Crowley dropped out of the election, only rejoined because the establishment Democrats' favorite had campaign finance fraud issues. A portion of the votes that put Crowley over came in when he wasn't actively campaigning.
Really?
Wow.
That's
this was
stuff.
totally a stolen election. Thank you for giving me that background. I did not know that.
Look, as long as Hassan screams and crashes out, I don't care how they do it, to be honest with you.
Hey, I hope you're keeping track of the money because he should be at 300 now. Are you keeping track of the money?
Yeah, keeping track of the money, we're currently at $371.
Well, that was pretty quick. I guess he is keeping track of the money. Well done.
My hat. I bought a smaller hat this week at the store.
Nice. Thank you, Jacob Gestetner, for your jewels. Your jewels. So I want to tell you that I'm not going to go into deep detail about this story, but Planned Parenthood is in danger of being felted.
Oh no!
Bankrupted.
Whoa! What? No,
Broken.
Joe. What about all the good that they do for the black community, mainly? What about that, Joe? What are they gonna do?
I'm gonna cover that in just 1 second. I just gotta check on some rants here. Well, one rant specifically. Dan Vish says Crowley was Milwaukee County executive. Of course, the error happened in Milwaukee. No one in the rest of Wisconsin gives a crap about Crowley. That's an interesting little addition to the story as well. All right, let's talk about Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
And that they may be felted, sent to the poorhouse, broken, snap.
Okay.
Now, when I looked at this story, I want you to know that the legal explanation as to what happened here is very, very, very complex. And I'm going to make it so simple a 10-year-old can understand it. Or even
me. Yeah, right here. This guy.
All right. Justin, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals has nearly unanimously ruled against Planned Parenthood, which could result in the organization being forced to pay out up to $1.8 billion. That effectively bankrupt Planned Parenthood. Plaintiffs allege Planned Parenthood kept taking Medicaid money and did not give it back. Because if you wrongly get Medicaid money, you're obligated to give it back.
Yeah.
After Texas and Louisiana decided they should no longer be allowed to participate in the program. So there was a ruling against them saying you're not allowed to get Medicaid. They still kept getting Medicaid. And they wrongfully held on to it. If the court finds Planned Parenthood actually illegally billed Medicaid, the penalties could be absolutely massive, with some estimates reaching as high as $1.8 billion. Take every single red cent. Let's hear from Donald.
If Planned Parenthood is defunded, would you look into the harvesting of baby organs that they've done throughout the years and maybe go after some criminal prosecution on that?
Well, I think you're talking about a subject that is a heated subject. And we'll look into it. We're going to look into everything, but that's certainly a subject that's been debated for a long time, and we will look into it. Yeah.
Mr. President.
So there you go. That was him back in March. Let me explain to you a little bit more about this case and what happened today, so you can understand and be smarter than your friends when you're standing around the water cooler tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. And I had to do some digging on this. So the nature of this lawsuit, which you can see here, they reference is United States of America ex-relator Alex Doe versus Planned Parenthood. What's Alex Doe? What the hell is going on here?
Well, I mean, it's a Jane Doe person, a whistleblower of sort, right?
Very, very impressive.
Thank you.
How did you know it was a whistleblower?
I literally just took a shot in the dark, you know?
That was a great guess.
Thank you. I do what I can.
Yes, Alex Doe is a whistleblower. There are rules. There are statutes which enable a whistleblower to come out on behalf of the United States and sue on behalf of the United States if the United States has been defrauded. It's called a qui-tam lawsuit. This is a Latin phrase. Qui spelled Q-U-I. So some pronounce it qui, but the proper pronunciation is likely qui-tam domino regis. Ipso hoc. You think I'm making this up?
Now you're just saying stuff, Joe. Come on now.
No.
Okay.
No, qui-tam domino regis. Pro ipso hoc sequitur.
L'chaim.
That's not Hebrew, it's Latin. which is defined as speaking on behalf of the king and himself.
Got you.
Meaning that he's speaking on behalf of the government and himself. So he brings this lawsuit, and the objective behind this statute is to encourage financially whistleblowers to come out and say, if you come out and help us collect fraud, in that case, and you sue someone, and it's something that they defraud the United States, you can sue on behalf of the United States. You notify the United States, and the United States can say, we decide we want to join in this suit and provide counsel, or we're going to let you do this on your own. If they provide counsel, then you collect somewhere between 15 and 20%. If they say we're not providing counsel, you do this on your own, plus attorney's fees. If you're doing it on your own, then you get 25 to 30% plus attorney's fees. So the United States did not come in on this case. It's just one individual suing on behalf of the United States. But he is a whistleblower who had inside information. And what he's basically saying is this. Back in 2012, 13, 15, back around then, the states of Louisiana, what was the other state? Texas. Louisiana and Texas issued a court ruling saying, Planned Parenthood, you're ineligible to get Medicaid. And that they kept billing Medicaid and collecting the money from Medicaid. What happened in this decision? So then they went through, they filed a complaint back in 2021, and they went through discovery. After discovery ended, the defense moved for they looked for summary judgments, and they said we don't have to go to trial. Because even if you look at all the facts and the light most favorable to the plaintiff, we still have to win. Why do we have to win? The reason we have to win is because you're claiming we took certain steps, but those steps were directed by our attorneys. So really, you're suing our attorneys for what they did, and there's a concept called attorney immunity. So the attorney immunity now would pass on to the employer of the attorney, which is Planned Parenthood, and accordingly, we are protected. The district court heard this argument and said, well, that's a good argument. We agree.
Yeah.
And found in favor of Planned Parenthood, which means case should die. Or at least the claims that relate to that portion of what they did wrong. There's multitude things that they did wrong. So that portion would die. Then they went to the appellate court, and the appellate court said, we agree with the lower court that, in fact, this is a good argument that the Planned Parenthood is making. But then the plaintiff asked for a rehearing en banc, meaning I don't want to just have a panel of 3 people. Let's hear what the entire court has to say, the 25 justices, and ask them as a group, what do they think? And nearly unanimously, they came back and said, no, this is not a valid argument to raise now. The reason for that, the logic that they came up with, is that attorney immunity doesn't mean you cannot be sued. You can be sued. It could affect the ability to have liability, but it's not considered something that stops a lawsuit. So this is not that stops a trial. So this is not an appropriate thing to raise now. It's considered an affirmative defense, and accordingly, we think that this trial has to go forward. So this trial is going to go forward. This issue as to whether or not they have attorney immunity is something that would be decided down the road that could help shield Planned Parenthood from having any sort of liability. We don't know how they're ultimately going to find. I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say that there should be attorney immunity here, but it's also only one of several claims. There are a multitude of claims against them, and those other claims would be in fear that for work that was not done by the attorneys. Those doesn't seem like they have any defenses for it, as far as we know, that at least would work as a matter of law. They might have defenses as a matter of fact, and that would help them to win. I'm not telling you they're definitely going to lose, but the entire case is moving forward. And if in fact they get hit, but that now you understand what a key time lawsuit is. You also understand about attorney immunity and how the Fifth Circuit basically said that's not how attorney immunity works, and why it is that today they are crying that they're now going to have to go forward with this lawsuit. Now, the trial's probably not going to happen for like another 6 months to a year, at least. But yeah, I just thought you should all be aware of this because this is exciting stuff. The idea of Planned Parenthood potentially going belly up is awesome, amazing, because they are evil, vile, sick people. And by the way, the reason that they were ineligible for Medicaid is because of what they did with those baby tissues that you were talking about. That's why Texas and Louisiana said, no, you don't get no freaking Medicaid, you sick vultures. So, yes. Anyhow, so that's your update there.
What do you think about Trump saying that he'll potentially investigate the selling of baby parts? I think that was a bit of a misstep, personally.
Yeah, he should have been much more aggressive.
Yeah, I think that was a little limp-wristed on that one, personally.
Well, the reason I would be a little hesitant if I was in his shoes is because all this stuff was found out many years ago. This is not something. I mean, I think this is the first thing Project Veritas exposed 10 years ago. So I don't know that I think this is so well known. It's you can't sue people for the Martin Luther King assassination.
Sure, but they're still doing it. They're quite obviously still doing it. So,
if in fact they find stuff like that, perhaps he's not aware whether or not they're still doing that.
And whether or not, here's my issue: whether he can or he can't. Right? He could have phrased it in a way of we're going to look into it while being more heavy-handed with the way of saying it. That's sort of my problem. It's so gross.
No, they are disgusting and evil, and I sort of feel like it requires God's justice more than man's justice at this point. So sadly, a friend of mine told me how locals count. Is that true? I heard they're Portuguese podcasting. It's a totem pole thing.
Yeah,
meaning, the same thing. I checked it very, very late.
Yeah.
JH says over here, YouTube wouldn't let me say Biden DOJ believes the FFA is the Hitler Youth of America, and they really do believe this. This is what he shares with me. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Maybe you can walk me through what I'm looking at here.
Maybe I can walk you through it?
Yeah.
Okay, good luck to both of us, boys.
I'm just telling you, I'm not sure what we're looking at here.
All right. Zoom in. Enhance.
YouTube and let me say Biden DOJ believes the FFA is the Hitler. What is the Fresco County Fair?
Yeah, the FFA.
Is that what that is?
Future Farmers of America.
Oh, Future Farmers of America, right? This relates back to what he was saying.
City boy.
So there you go. This looks like the Hitler Youth right here.
Yeah, I think so. It's all the sheeps,
Oh, okay. I thought this was going to be a goat joke, but the point is that this innocent-looking kid is basically considered Hitler Youth.
Yeah, they're going to murder that sheep,
Yesterday
the Lamb of God or something.
Yesterday I covered a city in Detroit, which is majority Muslim, which passed a law that allows for animal sacrifice.
Wait, that's what, Dearborn or something?
No, it's called Tramark or something like that.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple of those now, aren't they? Or is there still just that one in Michigan? Yeah, so they're gonna now allow animal sacrifice. Good job. Hey, way to go, Michigan.
It's actually been going on for a couple of years. I first stumbled on it yesterday, but since 2023, they've been allowing animal sacrifices, and I was just picturing the altar there and the sprinkling of the blood and someone in priestly garments. And
I mean, it's sort of how
and just
that's sort of how kosher and other stuff is done. It's technically a ritual. It has to be done a certain way.
Okay.
I mean, it is though. You have to person has to be what's the Muslim version of kosher? What is that? Halal.
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 I can't clear my throat that many times. It's going to get sore, okay?
Halal.
All right, go ahead and give me your finger wag speech about kosher, okay? Just tut right quick.
No, kosher is the kosher method of sacrifice designed to be the most humane way to end its suffering as rapidly as possible. So basically, you have to cut the windpipe and the food pipe in one.
Yeah, one swoop. Yeah. But I'm saying it's still sort of a ritualistic.
Yeah, that's ritualistic rather than like driving like a hole through the middle of a cow's belly, which is what you guys do.
What do you mean? What we guys do? What do you add? We put a plug in their head. Bow. That's what I do.
That's what the meat industry. I'm saying. Do you know how they slaughter cows in the meat industry?
Well, I mean,
you know what Big Meat does.
Hey, Olsen, you know what Big Meat does?
Well, you probably know what Big Meat does. But...
All right, Joe. Now go ahead. Explain how the gay is all terrible and horrible about the meat industry and stuff.
They lift the cow up off its like feet and basically take this thing that looks like that spire that drove through Ming the Merciless in Flash Gordon and slash it through the belly of the cow. At least that's what they did 20 years ago when I last saw it.
Yeah, no, they usually use bolt guns now.
Bolt guns?
Shoots a little.
What I'm saying is they just sort of, you know what I'm talking about with like that spire thing. That did you ever see Flash Gordon?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, so you know that's that thing, that's that giant spear that ends up going through the belly of Ming the Merciless at the end. So if you basically imagine that, but like 6 times as enormous and just slicing into like just driving into and splitting the cow open. That's how they kill cows. Don't get me started on veal.
It's normally it's a bolt gun, you know that. That's what they're using now.
I don't know what the freaking you
no. They take a bolt. It's a bolt gun. It's literally a bolt.
You think there's someone standing there?
Yes. And they fire it in their forehead. I grew up on a farm. Yes.
You think there's someone? You think that's what Big Meat's doing? You think that's what Big Meat's doing? Someone standing there with like, and you just hear.
It drives a steel bolt into the brain. Yes.
A steel bolt? I thought you meant like a bolt action rifle.
It's sort of the same premise, but it's No Country for Old Men sort of type thing, but with a bolt. Psst, right in the brain. Right in the forehead. Lights out. Cow's not flipped upside down or like, slaughtered with a... I've seen the kosher knives. They are kind of cool looking though.
They're badass.
Yeah, they are pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Those knives they use are pretty badass. I thought about buying some one time. I was like, I have no need for this, but I really want a set.
It's supposed to be no nicks on the knife at all. That would invalidate the slaughter. And they test it to make sure of that by running it across their tongue.
Yeah. Does the bolt not retract? I could have swore it did. Like it just boop went in, then it retracted. And you pull another cow up, boop. There you go.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Matter of fact, I think we made a law to do that. Something like slaughtering act.
All right, well, we're into overtime now. So I will say welcome to the following Moshe G. God bless you. Yeah, I guess we should
give a little bump.
Give one of those for a new member. What is this? Dan Vicious is saying, do this update PDF blogspot. What? I don't know why he's showing me something that's literally about pedos.
There's a lot of that going on. You got the EDP documentary that came out about that guy. There's a lot of pedo stuff going on. Maybe I don't know. What is this?
Yeah, he shared this link with me, and I don't know what. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing with this. This is what he shared with me. What am I supposed to be doing with this? Do you recognize any of these people?
No.
I don't know there.
I have no clue.
All right.
I have no idea.
I don't know why this was shared with me.
Kentucky, Illinois. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. We appreciate it
very much.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Anyhow, so I wanted to talk to you all about Tyler Robinson. Today there was a filing which surprised a lot of people in that there's a new filing where you may recall that roughly a month ago, there was a 5-day hearing where they were trying to decide whether they would bind him over for trial. In order to establish that they would bind him over for trial. Oh, now everything's coming in about the bolt gun. Here we go. I want to get started on Tyler Robinson, but you guys, I'll come back to Tyler Robinson in just a moment. Joe, they used a trap bolt that launches at high speed with air pressure. They've been using it since 1903. Stop believing Netflix.
That's true.
Temple Grandin, who's autistic, invented a more humane way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that.
I have no clue who that is, but
think shotgun with a reusable slug.
The ones that we used growing up were handheld, so it's literally a handheld thing that you squeeze and air pushes a bolt out and then it retracts. So I didn't use them. The guys that we took our animals to slaughterhouse did. So
well, she says non-kosher meat caused mad cow disease in England in 1989 through 99 because of the stunning needed. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. All right. Y'all got it out of your system now? Y'all got it?
Look, man, you're talking to a guy that grew up on a farm, okay? And you're trying to
tell
me
Nixie, it was Hamtramck yesterday that I was talking about. Hamtramck. Thank you for correcting me. I knew I was going to forget the name. All right. Tyler Robinson is in the news because his attorneys filed a legal brief. Now, a month ago, roughly thereabouts, there was a 5-day hearing to decide whether or not there's probable cause to bind him over for trial. This is an exchange for having a grand jury. The way the process goes in Utah is that you have a hearing wherein the judge will hear what evidence the state has, and the yardstick for holding it over for trial is much lower than it will be at trial, in that it's just based on a preponderance of the evidence, meaning it's got to be a little bit more sure that they got the right guy. Just 50.0001% sure that this is the right guy who committed the deed. And also that the evidence that's admissible in that trial is far wider than what will be allowed at a jury trial. For example, they allow in hearsay and other evidence without having proper foundation. That would be necessary elements before you can admit such evidence at a normal criminal trial. The expectation being that since it's a judge who's making a final determination there, they can glean out what sort of credibility to attach to evidence and draw certain assumptions that you will be able to establish foundation for this video, that it's not something you just created in your backyard schoolyard like the Democrats did during the second impeachment hoax. So that it's actually legitimate video. You didn't, improperly modify it, things of that nature. So those assumptions are sort of built into the findings of the judge when he's deciding whether he's going to bind it over for trial. Now, at the conclusion of that 5-day hearing, he said that the state has a couple of weeks to put in their brief, a legal brief, as to why it is that they've met the challenge of establishing probable cause as against Tyler Robinson for being the murderer of Charlie Kirk. And they did so. And then he said he's going to give another couple of weeks for the defense to put in their response. And then he gave additional time for the state to put in their reply to that response. So this week we got the response from the defense. Now, the interesting thing about their response is they really had an opportunity, if they thought it was strategically appropriate, to say, hey, there should be no trial. They don't show probable cause. Let him go. They could have done that. They did not do that. You would think if there were, Candace Owen fans, that they would be like, hey, this is totally not the right guy. What the hell? There's no evidence. It all looks blurry. There's no reaction to the shot, no nothing, whatever. That's not what they did. Instead, they took a completely different tactic, which is they said, look, we want you to take the death penalty off the table.
Oof.
Because in order to be eligible to get the death penalty, you need to have certain aggravating factors. Not just committing murder, but there has to be certain various aggravating factors which warrant that level of punishment. And the factor that the state was focusing on was that they claimed that he knowingly created a great risk to the public. So that's basically what their fixation was, saying they submitted a 41-page brief, and it was almost exclusively fixated on saying, okay, look, there's a lot of evidence here that he's the one who killed him, but as a matter of law, you should determine that that aggravating factor does not exist, and accordingly, the death penalty should be taken off the table when he goes to trial next year. So this is what, we'll go back to hot air again. Robinson's defense team shooter hit the intended target. That's what they're saying, is there was no risk to the public writ large. Everyone over there, everyone was pretty safe. It wasn't like that dangerous a scenario because he hit the intended target.
Yeah.
This is not what candy stands want to see.
Mm-hmm.
It has been clear for quite a while now that Tyler Robinson's defense team is really only trying to do one thing: get the death penalty off the table. It delayed the trial, tried to have the prosecutors removed from the case, and pushed the judge to punish them for speaking to the media. Despite all their efforts, Robinson is still facing the death penalty, and with the preliminary hearing out of the way, his trial is finally on the horizon. All that's left is for the judge to decide the case should move forward and set a date. Now, he's not going to make that decision until the earliest being early September, because he gave them such ridiculously lengthy times to look at all this. It's the stupidest thing that he allowed these legal briefs. He should have just said no freaking briefs. But he seems very timid, this judge. He's terrified he's going to make an error of law, which is going to help the defense. That's the vibe I got from this judge. He's very afraid that he's going to do something that's going to cause a reversible appeal, and by wrongly affording the defendant all due process that he's entitled to. So he's bending over backwards to make sure that any due process claims that he's looking for are going to be afforded.
Yeah.
After the preliminary hearing, prosecutors submitted a brief listing all the reasons the case should go to trial, including the fact that Robinson had confessed at least 11 times in writing and several more times verbally. Now the defense has submitted a 41-page response arguing that Robinson should not be eligible for the death penalty because the enhancements aggravating factors in the case haven't been proven by the prosecution. So, and they say that that the man charged with killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk say he shouldn't be eligible for the death penalty because the shooter hit the intended target during the assassination last year at a Utah event attended by thousands of people. Defendant Tyler Robinson's attorneys say prosecutors have not proven that others who attended the Kirk event at Utah Valley University on September 10th were endangered by the shooting, a potentially aggravating factor under state law that would make it a capital crime. In other words, because he's shooting into a crowd and showing a reckless indifference for the fact that if he F's up, someone's gonna die. So that's what is the state is saying is the aggravating factor. This appears to be a major argument being made by the defense in this brief. The enhancement that makes this death penalty hasn't been sustained because the shooter had a clear shot and only fired one bullet. And that no one else was in danger. Now, when you look at video of like the event that we've all seen, unfortunately, far too many times with Charlie getting shot, it's very clear he's surrounded by a lot of people. So it's, you know, from the shooter's perspective, he was fortunate that he hit Charlie Kirk. But what if he sneezed?
Yeah.
You know, what if there was some sort of crazy wind or some ricochet or some bird that flew into the line of sight and deflected the bullet? These are not crazy scenarios. What if the bullet went through Charlie Kirk and hit someone behind him on the other side of the tent facade? There's no way he doesn't know that's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I mean there's so many variables there. That's insane. That's a ludicrous statement to make.
It really feels like they're grasping at straws. Like they're desperately grasping at straws. Utah law states that defendant knowingly created great risk of death to another individual other than the victim who was killed. It can be used as an aggravating factor. But Robinson's defense team notes that state needs to show that there was a high probability that Robinson put thousands of people gathered at the Turning Point USA rally where Kirk was speaking at risk for death, and not just a possibility of that happening. Well, there is a pretty high probability that a bullet can go through him.
Yeah.
And hit someone.
100%.
High probability that if he's off by a factor of like 2 degrees, that
hit somebody
a guy
behind
standing
him.
in front of someone standing directly in front of Tyler Robinson. Quote, this is what this defense claimed. The state has failed to show that the actual conduct created a high probability that someone other than Mr. Kirk would be killed, and thus the theory fails as a matter of law. I think this is such a loser argument. Where no other person was injured in the manner creating great risk of death and no other shots are fired, the allegation of an aggravator cannot be sustained. Defense attorneys contend that there was no one else in the line of fire. You know, if someone's standing at a shooting range, right? And if someone takes a gun and is firing at a shooting range, I would say that someone who's there is in the line of fire.
I
if
would
the
think
target
so.
is directly in front of me, someone who's there is in the line. Like, you wouldn't be. Let's put it like this: if it was your kid who was standing over there and you saw me pull a trigger and fire and hit the target, you would want to rip my head off. No?
Yeah, in a heartbeat. 100%.
You would come over and punch me you would punch the ever-living crap out of me.
If my kid was there, okay, just there in the audience watching the Charlie Kirk death,
you would want to beat the hell out of that guy.
Yes.
So that's what it's like. This is such a stupid claim. Furthermore, the firing of a single shot at an intended victim that hit only the intended victim is not an aggravating factor merely because the other people were in the vicinity. The bullet that struck and killed Mr. Kirk was not fired in an enclosed bedroom or space, but rather in an open-air arena with what the state's witness termed a clear line of sight. So what? What if he's a crap shot? What, like I said, what if he sneezes? Or some bug flies in his ear right when he's pulling the trigger? I mean, like any of a million things could happen here.
Yeah.
Or what if
too many variables there? He got lucky.
What if the bullet literally goes through Charlie Kirk and hits the person, someone behind him? You know, goes through that little tent facade behind him. And literally, he had no way of knowing that would not happen. He had no way of knowing the bullet wouldn't have gone through Charlie Kirk and ended up killing someone directly behind him, who might not even be visible to him on the other side of the tent. You know what I'm saying? Like he had that tent facade behind him.
Yeah.
That was
you don't know what Tyler Robinson didn't know what was behind there.
No, there was no way to know.
That is that's a lunatic.
It's a lunatic argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were no threats to others in the course of conduct. There was no one directly next to Mr. Kirk when he was shot, and there was no one under the tent on that side. On the side that Mr. Kirk was struck or behind him in the breezeway. But he didn't know that. Multiple shots were not fired. There were no ricocheting bullets. Of course, the defense isn't admitting to anything really. But the argument they're making is that the shooter, whoever that person turns out to be, was a skilled enough assassin that no one else was in danger that day. This is the kind of thing that might go over well with Candace Owens fans who have been pushing the idea that skilled government assassins was responsible for months. By the way, since we hit the goal tonight, I am going to be sharing with you all a song I created, which on a scale of 1 to 10, rock solid 6, about Candace Owens. So, in reality, Robinson does, it's one of the just bonus things I just threw out there. Because I figured some of you might be Candy fans. So, in reality, Robinson does not seem to have been especially skilled, but he did practice and prepare and get lucky on the first shot. Had he missed, there's every reason to think he would have fired again using one of the other cartridges he prepared and loaded. Yeah, it's not like he took only one bullet there.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is also denying that Kirk was targeted over politics, which sounds like a joke. Because that's another aggravating factor. If you kill someone because of their political beliefs, then that's considered an aggravating factor, which could warrant the death penalty.
Yeah.
Prosecutors allege that Robinson told his roommate that he killed the activist because he had enough of his hatred. But the defense said that that was not enough to prove what could have motivated Robinson after searches of his apartment, computers, and telephone failed to produce anything beyond that one statement. Here's more on that. Even after police searched Robinson's residence, his parents' home, and Robinson's electronic devices, there's nothing to base the sentence enhancement upon other than the single criticism of Mr. Kirk's hatred the defense contends. In the face of the absence of evidence, the state focuses on Mr. Robinson's sexuality and Mr. Twiggs' gender identity, if only because those are two topics of which Mr. Kirk was, in fact, widely viewed as expressing hatred and intolerance. That's not at all what he did, but that is what this jackass thought. However, that's not an evidentiary substitute for proof that Mr. Robinson targeted Mr. Kirk because of those expressions. It's the state's speculation that he did so. During the preliminary hearing, Lance Twiggs testified that he and Robinson occasionally talked about politics, but he claimed that didn't really talk about trans identity or Charlie Kirk. This seems pretty unlikely to me, considering they're furries. But the point is, seriously, the dude's a furry. Yeah. I mean, you never talk about, you don't talk about trans identity, you just go act transy. I mean, come on. This seems pretty unlikely to me, but the point is that the prosecution has to prove Kirk was targeted of his politics, not just argue it makes sense. Lance Twiggs' testimony didn't help him do that. There were reports early on that Robinson had become more political and specifically more pro-gay and trans rights oriented in the year before the shooting. Those reports came from authorities relaying what Robinson's mother had said to them. I don't believe we saw any of that evidence during the preliminary hearing. The prosecutors will now get a chance to rebut the defense briefing. They have to submit that rebuttal in writing by next Tuesday. Then the judge will hold a hearing to issue his final decision on September 1. As you would expect, Candace Owens is downplaying today's brief and denying it shows anything significant about the case. Ugh, I've barely had my coffee, and I can already tell that the overwhelming evidence crowd is lying about the recent case filings in the hope that no one will actually read them or understand them. How are they not tired of running the exact same strategy and losing every time? What the hell are you talking about? You're the one who's continually changing your strategies. Pay a bunch of influencers to make emotive claims and hope people don't actually read through the filings. It's exactly as they did with the ATF report and every other element of this case. Lie quickly, repeatedly, and hope no one will take notice. Our report was actually in the filings later today. I'm sure that was gold. Gold! Gold, Jerry! It's gold! Blake Neff from TPUSA responded to her, noting all the things the defense is not claiming. Candace is having her latest blow up because the defense new 41-page file in the Ty Robinson case uses exactly none of the wild claims she spent the last 11 months pushing. Rather than make the case that Robinson is not guilty, the filing focuses exclusively on trying to spare him from the death penalty. The filing spends 1 page contesting the actual murder evidence by arguing that Lance Twiggs' testimony was improper hearsay. All the rest of the filing concerns aggravating factors or secondary charges. The filing admits that Charlie Kirk was killed by a rifle shot from the Losey Center. It explicitly describes it wasn't some Egyptian plane. It wasn't a Rode microphone. It wasn't some shooter under his arm.
It wasn't some pocket bomb or anything like that.
Right, some bomb that was in his pocket or planted in his chest.
Yeah.
Well, crazy. The filing admits that Charlie Kirk was killed by a rifle shot from the Losey Center. It was a rifle shot? I thought that couldn't possibly be.
Let me do just a little brain experiment here. Wouldn't that be what Candace Owens wants, though? Because if the lawyers are saying, well, there was no way anybody else could have been harmed in this action whatsoever, Candace Owens could be like, yeah, and they know it because of insert weird conspiracy theory. That's what I would do. I'd make bank off of this if I was Candace Owens. You know, I would just be asking questions. Well, how do lawyers know nobody could have been hit with a wild shot?
I have questions.
I have questions about the beeper in his pocket that exploded because of Israeli agents.
Yes, Israeli agents. It was delayed reaction. The filing admits that Charlie was killed by rifle shot from the Losey Center, explicitly describes the person captured on camera on the Losey rooftop as the shooter. There's absolutely no effort to talk about exploding microphones, either directly or indirectly, but contesting the idea Charlie was killed by a rifle round. Filing never argues that Robinson was not at UVU. In fact, on page 22, it says the evidence shows Mr. Robinson walking up and down stairs at UVU. Why would they be saying that? And calls it a reasonable inference that his implied gate was caused by a fully assembled rifle. Oh. Uh-oh.
Yay. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's a bit of an oops.
No, now what?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do, Candace? What are you left with? The filing admits that Robinson was texting with Lance Twiggs, telling him, I'm going to turn myself in willingly. When Lance asked if there's any way he avoids prison, he replies, I highly doubt it. Professional lawyers, unlike dishonest podcasters, have ethical obligations that bar them from saying things they know are untrue. So unsurprisingly, the defense bears was absolutely no resemblance to the one Candace has spent months shilling to her idiotic audience. Little licensing there from me. Little licensed editing from me. Case is definitely going to trial. That's true. Whether or not it does so as death penalty case remains to be seen. I expect it will be. I think it will be. So there you go. There you go. That's your breakdown as to what is happening. If there is a one-day hearing on this, I do expect to be live streaming that.
I would like to be invited to that. My question is honestly, though, why Candace isn't spinning this into her favor?
You're welcome to join me for that if you want.
I would love to. I would love to join you for trial streams. I think it'd be great. It'd be
really?
Yeah.
Well, that could be fun.
Yeah. I just need to know like a day in advance so I can make sure I get everything, you know what I mean? Squared away and have the day.
Right. I usually find out these things the night before, but
yeah, all you got to do is text me. That's fine.
Cool. All right, we'll see. Definitely. What were you about to say?
Yeah, I don't understand why Candace, like I said before, she wouldn't spin this into her favor. Like it would literally lend credence to all of her conspiracy theories.
Spin what in her favor?
If none of this is if, like I was saying a second ago, if nobody was in danger of the bullet, and that's what they're trying to do in order to get the death penalty off the table, you know what I mean? Like you could see, she's so dumb. She's just dumb.
Yep.
How does she make so? Imagine how much more money she would make if she wasn't dumb.
She's 10 IQ points smarter than her followers.
I wonder. I honestly, yeah. So basically, middle school teacher theory, where they just read ahead. That's all it is.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what that is. Intended target premeditation equals no death penalty. Apparently not. Apparently not. It's not considered an aggravating factor. Can someone please explain and show that Candace Owens is really a woke white woman? She's appropriating her black skin. She's not real. She's an avatar. I want to see the spray tan receipts. So JH has questions also. Yeah. He has questions. Are you really a black woman? Are you really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want her to be white. What would she be? We give her to the Hispanics.
Give her the Muslims.
There we go. Bingo. They can have her.
Maybe she is. Maybe you don't know.
Well, I mean, isn't her husband like French? Isn't he a French guy? Isn't France like overrun with Muslims?
It could be. So I promised you all that I was going to share with you a song I created. And I am a man of my word. And I will tell you that I actually created a song I haven't heard yet. Like I keep redoing the song, so it sounds a little different every time. Yeah. So I'm very torn about which version of the song to give you, because I literally haven't heard some of these. I like literally created this at like 10:35.
Yeah.
Like I actually, one of them I created as the opening was going. When you all hearing questions answered, leave a little leave with better questions. And when it was creating the song. So I've not had an opportunity to hear it. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm just going to listen to like the first 60 seconds of it myself.
You're going to listen to it by yourself?
Well, I want to give them the best one.
That's not how this works.
I figured I would pull it out and let you just sort of like, say something clever.
I mean, I can vamp for 60 seconds. That's not a problem whatsoever, Joe. But I'm saying, like, the chat sort of paid for this. You know, what is Sin wearing on his head? Wait, what do you mean? I'm wearing a ball cap right now. This is Planet Fitness, which is weird. I would never normally support Planet Fitness, but I like the colors of the hat. So that's what I'm wearing. What are you wearing on your head? Huh? A yarmulke? Probably. Oh gosh, look at Joe's face. He's confused by his own creation. It's sort of like me being his co-host. He is English. Eat more fish and vamp it. Why would I? No, I'm not a big fan of fish. What's that? Wedwas? Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of seafood personally. So that's just not right. The corgi is cute. That is a 1-for-1 recreation of Cody, right there. The the very special corgi I got bullied into purchasing by 3 women in my life. Otherwise, I would have a lab. But I ended up.
You guys want? I can just play both songs because I don't even know. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to really hear it. But there was like one part that I left out, and I was like, oh, I really want to throw that in.
Yeah.
And that's why like the new version has that, but for one reason or another, it's a much shorter song, and I'm like, I don't know what they cut out.
Well, we're over $400.
You're saying give them both?
I mean, yeah. I mean, why not? They're not as good. You're saying they're not as good as last week's.
It's not
but
as good as last
you know what? If you, it's sort of like giving the samples at Sam's or Costco. You know what I mean? You give a little to get a little. Next time you do this, I'll be like, well, that one was really good. You gave us a deal on it. So this one's got to be great if you really work on it.
Give us buy one, get one free. All right. I mean, look. All right, fine. I actually have like, I don't know, 12 different, I have like 8 different versions, but I'll give you the one I started playing for Sin that he's like, oh, that's not bad. I'll start with that one.
All right. Do it like last time, save questions for the end.
And yeah, you can say, I mean, it's not quite, this is less about you, so it's not.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, that way they can
you see how this is like 30 seconds shorter, and this one has stuff in it that I was like, this part, I don't know, whatever. This is the one I was playing for Sin before that he's like, oh, that's not bad. So let's go with it.
All right.
Guys, they think we are stupid. Who does? They do. Who's they? Exactly. They gave us Tyler Robinson, they wrapped it in a bow. They told us who and what and when and all we need to know. They gave us text and timelines, they told us cases closed. But isn't it convenient how perfectly it's posed? Guys, I have questions. She has questions. We're smarter than the experts. We're smarter than the press. When the feds say here's the answer, that's when we believe it less. We don't swallow fed slop, we don't follow with the herd. We're independent thinkers. Now listen to my every word. Every word. Guys, have you looked at the Egyptian planes? The Egyptian planes. Planes in the air, dates on a screen. People arriving places they've been. Coincidence? No. Could be, but probably not. We knew it. And where does the trail go next? Fort Huachuca. Fort Huachuca. What's Fort Huachuca? I have questions. She has questions. They think that we are stupid. They think we're not along. If the mainstream says it's right, we know there's something wrong. They hand the sheep their fed slop. We connect the threads. Now Fort Huachuca raises some questions of its own. But then I started looking at something no one's shown. The microphones, the what? Road microphones. Road microphones. What's wrong with road microphones? Nothing. But I have questions. She has questions. They think that we are stupid. They think we're not along. If the mainstream says it's right, we know there's something wrong. They hand the sheep their fed slop. We connect the threads. Now for some questions of its own. But then I started looking at something no one's shown. The microphones. The what? Road microphones. Road microphones. What's wrong with road microphones? Nothing. Oh, but I she has questions. Egyptians, planes, Fortuatuga, road microphones. And that brings us to Mossad. How does that bring us to Mossad? I have questions. We don't follow Bezlop, we're nobody's sheep. While normies read the headlines, we dig 6 layers deep. They tell you not to question, they tell you nothing's there. But we can spot a cover up from 40 miles in air.
We think independently.
Now, once you
tell us
see
what you think.
that piece, the picture starts to clear. It does? No. It gets much more confusing because now we have Erica, and guys, Bibi. What's that got to do with Tyler? I have questions. She has questions. Every answer has a question. Every question has a clue. Every clue reveals another clue that proves the first clue true. And if evidence contradicts it, that's evidence as well. Why would they contradict us unless there's more to tell? Does that make sense? I'm in the court! Tyler was the shooter. Tyler was the patsy. I thought we had Egyptian planes. I thought we had the army. The army was Huachuca. What happened to the plane? What about the microphone? Can someone start
So much.
There was Mossad. There was Erica. There was Bibi, naturally. How is this tied to Tyler? I have questions. She has questions. Planes. Questions. What you got? Questions. Microphone. Question. Mossad.
Microphones.
Tyler. Somebody draw a chart. Guys, you're getting distracted by the details. The important thing
don't
is
do that.
we think for ourselves. Yes, we never blindly accept what somebody tells us. Never. They think we are stupid. We're smarter than the experts. We're smarter than the press. Every time they answer us, we trust them even less. We don't swallow FedSoc. We don't follow the herd. We're proud, independent thinkers who believe my every word, every single word. I have questions. She has questions. Guys, they think we are stupid. Guys, they think we are stupid.
Wow.
Guys,
it's pretty good.
You're stupid.
I told you it gets better as it goes, right? I only played in the first like 30 seconds. It's a pretty good song. That's what I said. It's not like a 5. It's a 6. It's a maybe even a 7. It's pretty good.
I think it's a 7. Yeah.
Now this one, but then I was like, oh, there's something I left out. So this is this. I'll play for you the one that I created that I have not yet heard.
Okay.
So I don't know what this is.
Guys, they think we are stupid. Who does? They do. Who's they? Exactly. They gave us Tyler Robinson. They wrapped it in a bow. They told us who and what and when and all we need to know. They gave us text and timelines. They told us case is closed. But isn't it convenient how perfectly it's posed? Guys, I have questions. She has questions. We're smarter than the experts. We're smarter than the press. When the feds say here's the answer, that's when we believe it less. We don't swallow FedSoc. We don't follow with the herd. We're independent thinkers. Now listen to my every word. Every word. Guys, have you looked at the Egyptian planes? The Egyptian planes. Planes in the air, dates on a screen, people arriving, places they've been. Coincidence? No.
I like this bridge
Probably
better.
not. We knew it. Then where does the trail go next? Fort Huachuca. What's Fort Huachuca? I have questions. She has questions. They think that we are stupid. They think we'll nod along. If the mainstream says it's right, we know there's something wrong. They hand the sheep their FedSoc. We connect the threads. But guys, look at the rooftop. Look closely. What is that? A roof? No, the tactical slide. The tactical slide. What's a tactical slide? Exactly. That's not an answer. I have questions. She has questions.
That's the part I
and
wanted,
then
the
I started
tactical slide.
looking at something no one showed. the microphone. The what? Road microphone. Road microphone. What's wrong with road microphones? Nothing. Which makes them even stranger. Egyptian plane. Tactical slide. Road microphone. And that brings us to Mossad. How does that bring us to Mossad? I have questions. We don't swallow fence law. We're nobody's sheep. While normies
I like the second one better.
6 layers deep. They tell you not to question. They tell you nothing's there. But we can spot a cover-up from 40 miles in air. Think independently. Tell us what to think. What? Nothing, 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 nothing. Now, once you see the Mossad piece, the picture starts to clear. It does? No. It gets much more confusing because now we have Erica. And guys, Bibby. What's that got to do with Tyler? I have questions. She has questions. Every answer has question. Every question has a clue. Every clue reveals another clue that proves the first clue true. And if evidence contradicts it, that's evidence as well. Why would they contradict us unless there's more to tell?
Why you contradict?
Does that make sense? I'm in the court. Tyler was the shooter. Tyler was the patsy. What about Egyptian planes? And what about the army? What happened at Huachuca? Who did the tactical slide? What about the microphones? Can someone pick a side? There was Mossad. There was Erica. There was Baby. Naturally. And how's this tied to Tyler? I have questions. She has questions. Planes. Questions. Slide. Questions. Microphones. Mossad. Erica. Baby. Tyler. Somebody draw a chart. Guys, you're getting distracted by the details. The important thing is we think for ourselves. Yes. We never blindly accept what somebody tells us. Never. They think we are stupid. We're smarter than the experts. We're smarter than the press. Every time they answer us, we trust them even less. We don't swallow fence lines. We don't follow the herd. We're proud and...
Now, it was supposed to close
Guys,
out.
they think we are stupid.
That was the other one that popped out. It didn't, for one reason or another, Suno cuts out this last thing, which is at the end. She's just supposed to say, now about the bomb planted in his chest. Which that was like the last thing that she was supposed to throw in.
Yeah.
So, but for one reason or another, Suno didn't throw that in.
Well, you know.
You like the second one better.
I think I like the second one better. I like the music to it better. The pacing of it. Yeah.
All right. I never checked my poll before. My poll came out. If you joined late, if you just got here in the last, I don't know, recently, like in the last hour and a half, then you might have missed what the poll was when we were having a conversation about dating outside your race. So we were definitely talking about that, and the poll that we put up, which now has at the time it had 180 votes. Now we almost doubled. It's got 320 votes, 324 votes. Do you think it's cool for a member of your race to date another race? 62% saying yes, totally fine. 24% saying no. And
racist.
14% say only as a last resort.
Aren't you put only as a last resort in there as an option?
Yeah, I put that in because like I felt like when you made the comment that you would rather your kid date a black guy than a white meth dealer.
No, meth head.
Meth head.
Yeah.
A meth dealer would be good.
Yeah, meth dealer would be fine. What are you talking about?
You got money.
Yeah. What do you mean?
A white meth head. Yeah. So that basically said, okay, so as a last resort, like if you heard she dumped the meth head for a black guy, you'd be like, all right.
Well, I mean, at that point, I'm sure that there's a pattern, and I'd probably be like, no, thank you. Okay. That's a different story. But if both of them are in front of me, I would have to see the resumes, but still.
Fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. So yeah, I thought it actually would be more people saying no. Because I let everyone vote from the privacy of their own home. You know, no one knows who's voting what.
Yeah, I think maybe you thought strictly African American instead of like other races too, like Asians or Hispanics or whatever. Because I saw a lot of conversation about like, well, my family member, my son or daughter had married a Hispanic and yada yada. And it's no big deal. Then I saw some that were, you know, a little more racy. So.
You think Modern Family made that like more like tolerable?
100%, yeah. A lot of stuff like that.
You saw who Jay married, and you're just like, yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah,
yeah,
look, man. I mean,
I get it.
I've got a weakness for Russian women. You know, it's a, you know, you never.
Would you consider dating a Russian woman outside your race?
No, not really. But I'm saying like everybody has like their own little thing.
But that's my question: is like someone of German origin or Irish? I know it for Italians. Like being Italian is a big deal, not just being white. Like you have to be Italian. Like at least that's what the Sopranos taught me.
Yeah, I'd date an Italian. I mean, I have dated an Italian before.
But I'm saying to an Italian family, and I think
it's a very big thing. Yeah,
it's a very big thing. I wonder if amongst Hispanic people, it's a big thing. Like if you're Guatemalan, not to go Colombian.
Oh yeah, no, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, at least the guys that I talk to, like I said, I used to frequent a Puerto Rican barbershop, and they like to stay Puerto Rican. You know what I mean? And like they had other like Hispanic guys there that were cutting hair. Like I forget what all of them were, but they would Dominican. One guy was like Dominican, and so on and so forth. And one guy was Mexican, and they all sort of stayed to their own when we were discussing like relationships and stuff. So
I am going to put a quick poll up, which is better, the first song or the second song.
The other thing too is I know down here in the South, like there's not a tremendous amount of like, you know, Italians, like the boppity boopity kind that you're around, but they're more concerned about are you Catholic or not, because they always try to get me to convert to Catholicism.
Oh, that's an interesting thing. Because I know amongst Asians, like it's a very big deal. Like Chinese and Japanese don't get along. You know, like it's not, even though they're both Asian, and to like an American, we'd be like, I don't know, it's all ching chong ching to me. But
yeah,
or at least many Americans would sort of respond that way. Not your white liberal women, but most normal Americans would be like, I don't know. You think I can tell the difference between Taiwan and Korean? I don't know.
Yeah, I can.
And there, in that scenario, they're actually different races. Like, you know, Japanese and Chinese are two different races. Korean's a different race. So that's, to me, a more natural place for someone to feel an objection than, let's say, Colombian versus Venezuelan, which is, you're all Spanish. Like, it's not like you're a different race. You might have different cultural...
That's pretty racist of you.
You're all Spanish. It's not like you're a different... It's not like there's a race of Colombians. Right? I mean, am I wrong about this?
No. Yeah, I'm not.
Like, I know, like, Puerto Rican and Dominican Republic, like, hate each other.
Well,
from what I understand.
Yeah.
Right. So, Snow Baby would like to find a nice Amish man. So,
yeah, I mean,
settle down with Jebediah. All right. Anyway, what did I say wrong?
The ching ching what, Joe? Yeah, Joe.
I said ching chong, but yeah. All right. Well, I think that we covered a lot tonight.
We did a good bit.
Overall, a pretty good show, and I think you made a couple of dollars.
A couple, 2, 3, yeah.
Couple of
Joe
dollars.
Can figure out Venmo, you know.
If Joe can figure out.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I really do. And chat, like you guys doing that for me, it is greatly appreciated because I love being here. I look forward to this show. I was talking to one of the producers of my show earlier. I was like, before it felt like one of those things where like I've got to use my brain. I've really sort of settled into just not using my brain, and I look forward to being here on Wednesdays.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, to Sin's credit, he's like, you don't really have to give me money. And I was like, no, I totally want to give it to you. I think you well earned it. And I still haven't given it to him because I told him when I collect is when I'm going to pay him.
That's what he said,
it takes a couple of weeks for me to get paid. So
I'm gonna start sending him late notices starting Friday. He used to run a collection agency. I'm gonna get a fellow Jewish guy to send a collection.
Come after me. Yeah, good luck there. So but I think that you will earn it. And I even said to him, I said, look, I know you hang out with me because you like me, and that you come here for because you like me, you have fun, and you like the exposure.
I love it. Yeah,
and the exposure is cool. Yeah. So I know that's your primary thing, but I'm a very big believer in profit sharing. I think that's a cool thing. So
there we go.
Fantastic.
I appreciate it. I really do. It's. I never expected it because we got monetized.
I don't know anyone else who's ever done it. Honestly.
I mean, I do it with my guys, but that's just because of.
But you don't count.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I thank you all for joining me. Sin, why don't you tell people where they can find you?
FFS Cast. We stream every Friday through Monday about 6:30. On Sundays we stream at 4:30, and then tomorrow I'm doing a very special EDP 445. That crazy YouTube internet legend that got into a lot of trouble. They did a documentary on him, so I'll be streaming that about 6:30 Central Standard Time. Also, Twitter at Ambient Aristotle is my main account, and at Stimulated Sin is my other account. I'm trying to get at Ambient Aristotle over 1,300. So if you follow me, I will follow you back. Thank you.
And if you go into the description, you will see a link to him. You will also see a link to my merch store, which if you have any needs, we now have a new shirt out there, which is Eat the Bugs.
Yeah, do not
eat the bugs.
See, that's the problem. I got confusing messaging, and I ate the bugs one time, Joe, and you still refuse to tell me what's gonna.
Yeah. So, good luck with that, Clint. So, yeah, no, the
1977.
If you're interested in supporting the following and getting yourself a nice little mug or something like that, I urge you to please make sure that you check that out. And I'm just updating right now to put his links in here because they're not in here yet, and I'm sort of stalling for like half a second as I'm winding down as the plane is coming in for a landing. So anyhow, I think that's done. All right, we're good. And I thank you all for joining me. I'm going to remind you, do not eat the bugs.
You don't do that.
And don't touch that lamb meat either. It was never meant for you. It's meant for them. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's gross. Eat real meat. Real meat. Like he does. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
The plane is landing. The show is almost over. All that's left for you is this song. Joe left the studio. He's probably drinking Diet Mountain Dew. Maybe he's watching funny videos on YouTube, or playing chess, or doing Jewy things Jews do. We hope you had fun, and maybe you learned something. You hit like and you subscribe. Leave a comment if you want to show some love. That would be cool. You can be cool. Leaving comments is cool. So till next time, please be sure to stay away from lab meat. It was never meant for you. It's meant for they or them or comrade sparkle hugs. And most importantly, do not eat Z-bugs.
Good night and Godspeed.
Good night and Godspeed.